You're so lucky, Thaza. Where all have you traveled so far? It's not trying to pinpoint on places, but कति ठाउँ travel गरिसक्यो यसमा?
You know, Sanjay, when I think about winning Miss Nepal, sometimes you need to have a purpose to win something. It needs to make sense with where you're in life. त्यही भएर मिस नेपाल भएपछि चाहिँ उत्तरदेखि दक्षिण माथिदेखि तल सबै भ्याएँ. सगरमाथाको बिच क्याम्प गएँ, त्यसपछि गोसाइकुण्ड गएँ, त्यसपछि हिल्सलाई कभर गर्दै गर्दै तल आउँदाखेरि सुर्खेत पुगेँ. सुर्खेतबाट अनि हाम्रो नेपालगञ्जहरू घुमेँ है. नेपालगञ्जबाट आएपछि यहाँ पोखरा त अफकोर्स पोखरा साइडमा घान्द्रुक गएकै थिएन कि कहिले पनि. अफकोर्स अमेरिकाहरू त गएको थिएँ, तर द्याट वाज मोर अबाउट द प्लेसेस आई युज टु गो टु बिकज नेपालमा डेमोग्राफी हेर्दाखेरि म काठमाडौँमा बसेको नेपाली, इन्डियामा पढेको नेपाली, नेपाल चिने थिएन. अमेरिकाहरू घुमिरहन्थेँ कि. त्यही भएर आम वान अफ दोज पिपल हु ह्याड एक्सेस टु अल दिस थिङ्स बट आई डेन्ट ह्याभ एक्सेस टु माई ओन कल्चर. आई वाजन्ट इन सिङ्क विथ माई ओन रुट्स. त्यही भएर मिस नेपाल भएपछि चाहिँ कहाँ घुम्यो भनेर सोद्धाखेरि यही नेपाली ठाउँहरू मात्रै याद आउँछ मलाई.
होइन यस्तो होइन कि दार्जिलिङ याद आउँदैन, होइन यस्तो होइन कि के अरे युएस याद आउँदैन, होइन त्यो सबै छँदैछ. द्याट्स स्टिल अ पार्ट अफ यु बिकज यु स्टडिड इन दार्जिलिङ नि, होइन.
Those are the places that actually built me for the world. But people around Nepal will build me to become a person who works for my own country. आफ्नै ग्राउन्डमा आफ्नै रुटमा बसेर काम गर्ने जस्तो त के राम्रो होला होइन.
नो स्याडो अफ डाउट अन द्याट. र तिमीले भर्खर त्यो सुर्खेत भन्दाखेरि त्यो झलक्क मलाई सुर्खेत याद आयो क्या. तिम्रो भिडियोहरू हेर्दाखेरि होइन म आइएम लकी द्याट आइभ बिन टु अ फ्यु प्लेसेस, होइन सबै पुगेको छैन तर केही ठाउँहरू गयो. सुर्खेत अघि ठ्याक्कै त्यो सुर्खेत भनेर भने नि मलाई चट्ट सुर्खेत याद आयो क्या. कस्तो इन्ट्रेस्टिङ. म दसैँमा उता जाँदैछु होइन. त्यसपछि
ट्राभलिङ टु द वेस्ट.
हामी वेस्ट जाने प्लान छ होइन. we're thinking of going to बर्दिया होइन. प्लान चाहिँ बर्दिया छ अहिलेसम्म होइन. अब बाटोले साथ दियो भने र बाटो पनि हो त्यो माथि. अब त्यो सबै थोकै साथ दिनुपर्छ क्या फेरि हुन्छ नि. मोटरसाइकलमा जानलाई होइन म र मेरो भाइ एउटा रोड ट्रिपमा. अनि त्यसपछि सबै थोकै साथ दिनुपर्ने रहेछ क्या फेरि. त्यो
वेदर, पिपल, कन्भर्सेसन्स.
एट द एन्ड अफ द डे इट्स अल्सो लाइक द प्लेस हेज टु कल यु के. त्यो ठाउँले पनि बोलाउनु पर्छ जस्तो लाग्छ कि मलाई चाहिँ. हुन्छ नि कतै न कतै.
That's what I say about my Beauty with Purpose project site.
That's what you say. The place called you.
The place called me. I didn't choose the place. The place chose me. All in all.
Good. So let's start from this then. Tell us about your Beauty with a Purpose for this year.
For Beauty with a Purpose this year, Nepal is taking an electricity project. But when you have to capture it down into 2 words, it comes in line of socio-economical development. What builds a society? What builds a community? That aspect of things formulates only when you can sustain yourself to become a part of a community, to give back to the people who surround you. Electricity is also an aspect of the project, but this came in when I recognized the place that I was working with. So just ma bhandakeri चाहिँ it's a socio-economic developmental project, I know. अब ठाउँको कुरा गर्दै जाउँ. When we talk about it, not as an elevator pitch, not as a project, but something with a purpose. When we talk about project beyond its limits, beyond its just aspect of something done as a homework for a pageant, we talk about the in-depth of it. And in-depthमा चाहिँ हाम्रो मान्छेहरू आउँछ कि गाउँका मान्छेहरू. हामीले जसलाई भेट्यौँ, जोसँग आफन्त भएर काम गर्नु पायौँ, उहाँहरूको कुराहरू आउँदाखेरि चाहिँ अब ठाउँको कुरा गरौँ होइन. पहिला मिस नेपाल भएपछि अब प्रोजेक्ट गर्नै पर्छ त होइन. मिस वर्ल्डको लागि यु हेभ टु टेक up a socially equipped project that is going to be presented at a global stage. Is this not working?
No. Is it working? You happy with it?
Yeah, I'm good.
Can
at
you
a
hear
global
yourself?
stage. I sound good.
You sound great.
So त्यो हुँदाखेरि चाहिँ मैले पहिला एउटा प्रोजेक्ट त सोचेको थिएँ, but it wasn't in its capacity could be completed in about 2 years भनौँ न. It had a stretch of more than that. अलिकति larger scale थियो, अलिकति larger scope थियो. So Beauty with a Purpose लाँदाखेरि चाहिँ you just don't take a project or an idea with you. You take results with you. You take purpose with you. You take the impacts. You take people with you. त्यही भएर चाहिँ I needed a trackable project, trackable number, somewhere closer so I could just go in and out with the projects. कामहरू लाउँदाखेरि पनि it should make sense to the builders, right? हाम्रो Miss World जाँदाखेरि चाहिँ 6 महिनाको अवधि हुन्छ नि त एउटा प्रोजेक्ट कम्प्लिट गर्नु. मैले पनि त्यही टाइमलाइनमा त्यही स्केलमा काम गरेको थिएँ कि त्यही भएर 6 महिनामा एउटा बिल्डिङ बनाउनुलाई काम गर्नुको लागि it should make sense to the construction companies as well. त्यही भएर चाहिँ I looked for a place that were somewhere around Kathmandu के हेर्दै गएँ है. चितवनको ठ्याक्कै इच्छा कामनामा एक दिन डुल्दै जाँदाखेरि चाहिँ प्रोजेक्ट हन्टिङ नै थियो, साइट हन्टिङ नै थियो. डुल्दै जाँदाखेरि मम हुनुहुन्थ्यो, हाम्रो डिरेक्टर, एडमिन डिरेक्टर मिस्टर प्रमोद कंसकार, उहाँ पनि हुनुहुन्थ्यो. He was so happy to help us out with this project and we're so glad we had him on board. हामी 3 जना घुम्दै गइरहेको थियो हैन. इच्छा कामना पुग्यौं. अब म चाहिँ बाहिर बसेको भएर पनि होला धेरै ठाउँहरू घुमिसकेको थिएन हैन. इच्छा कामना छ भनेर थाहा थिएन कि. तर पहिलेदेखि मनोकामनालाई जहिले पनि प्रे गर्ने के. पावर अफ प्रेयर्स हुन्छ नि कहिलेकाहीँ. Sometimes you just connect with a deity. Not because they're powerful, because they pull you to them. Because their magic draws upon you, हैन. जहिले पनि मनोकामनालाई प्रे गर्ने अनि इच्छा कामना छ भनेर त दिमागमा पनि थिएन. तर मनोकामनामा यस्तो प्रोजेक्ट गर्नु नपाए पनि इच्छा कामनामा पुर्याइदिनु भयो कि. घुम्दै जाँदाखेरि अब भाग्यले भनौँ हैन, भोक लाग्यो. दिउँसोको 12-1 बज्यो, खाजा खानु पर्यो. We just had a stop by at the end of a hilltop. निस्किँदाखेरि चाहिँ हामी उप्परदाङगढी भन्ने ठाउँ पुग्यौँ. उप्परदाङगढी जाँदाखेरि चाहिँ it was a very interesting setting. फर्स्टमा हेर्दाखेरि there were 200 flight of stairs welcoming you. You had to walk it up. Hike होइन, तर घरको भर्याङ पनि चढ्या होइन कि. You have to make the stairs worth it, but you don't know what you're going to be welcomed by. हिँड्यौँ हामी. अब भोक लाग्थ्यो, त्यही माथि खान पाइन्थ्यो. न त you had to travel back an hour. हिँड्यौँ गयो है. ठ्याक्कै the land opened up. As soon as the stairs ended, the land opened up to this huge space with traditional homes. People cutting down bushes, doing their own things, cooking on दाउरामा पकाउँछ नि. दाउरामा पकाइरहनु भएको छ. त्यहाँ कुखुरा छ, बाख्रा छ, गाई छ, आफ्नै एउटा जीवन चलिरहेछ कि. अनि त्यसपछि लन त कस्तो रमाइलो. मामलाई पनि रमाइलो लाग्यो, मलाई पनि रमाइलो लाग्यो, सरलाई पनि रमाइलो लाग्यो. बसौँ न त खाजाको लागि भनेर खाजाको लागि बस्यो हैन. अनि के गर्नु हुँदो रहेछ भनेर यसो बुझ्दाखेरि चाहिँ होमस्टे नै होमस्टे थियो कि. द फर्स्ट थिङ द्याट रियली कट माई आई साइट वाज यो हेर्दाखेरि पनि गुरुङ होमस्टे भनेर लेखेको थियो. हाम्रो यो उप्परदाङगढीमा चाहिँ we're divided into 2 sections of demographic. एउटा गुरुङ बस्ती थियो, अर्को चेपाङ बस्ती छ. So that being out, यो गुरुङहरूको चाहिँ धेरै नै होमस्टेहरू थियो कि. That's what the stairs open up to है. होमस्टेहरू देख्यो अनि अब होमस्टेमा खाना त पाउने भयो. त्यहाँ बसेर खाँदाखेरि चाहिँ के छ खाजामा भन्यो. They didn't have a menu. Of course, we don't have options. चाउचाउ ल्याइदिनु भयो हैन. चाउचाउ ल्याइ त दिनु भयो. अब होमस्टे भनेको त हस्पिटालिटी सेक्टरको एउटा ठुलो नाम राखेको नेपालमा सेक्टर हो नि त. चाउचाउ ल्याइदिनु भयो. चाउचाउ यसो हेऱ्यो, न त बटुको छ, झोलवाला चाउचाउ थियो है. न त बटुको छ, न त काँटा छ, न त चम्चा छ. अब कसरी खाने? हातले खानुपर्छ. हातले खानु अप्ठ्यारो त होइन, बट द्याट्स नट द वे नि त. अनि उहाँहरूलाई सोध्यौँ कि हामीले तपाईँहरूले कसरी होमस्टे खोल्नुभयो भन्दाखेरि के भएको रहेछ भन्दा अब शक्तिखोर चितवनको नजिक भएर चाहिँ होमस्टेले बिजनेस ल्याउँछ, पैसा ल्याउँछ भनेर थाहा छ. तालिम नभएको कारणले चाहिँ कसरी होमस्टे चलाउँछ भनेर थाहा छैन. त्यो भएर चाहिँ मलाई अब इन्ट्रेस्टिङ लाग्यो कि बिकज आई ह्याड अ ट्र्याकेबल प्रोजेक्ट टु डु 6 months. आई क्यान गिभ देम ट्रेनिङ्स भनेर हेरेँ होइन. अनि होमस्टे किन चलिरहेको छैन, कसरी चलिरहेको छैन भन्दाखेरि चाहिँ होइन, होमस्टे फेरि चल्छ कि. उहाँको होमस्टेमा हामी बस्दाखेरि रातिको 2 बजे पनि पाहुना आएर रातिको 3 बजे खाना पकाएर फुल फ्लेज मासु भात तरकारी अचार बनाएर खुवाएर पनि पठाउनु भएको छ कि. त्यस्तो मात्रा त्यस्तो स्केलमा गेस्टहरू आउने. तर होमस्टेमा किन यसरी प्र्याक्टिस प्रपर भएको छैन भनेर सोद्धाखेरि चाहिँ अब के गर्ने, यस्तै छ, टुक्कीमा हेर्नुपर्छ, हिँड्नुपर्छ होइन. गेस्टहरू पनि आउनुहुन्छ जानुहुन्छ भनेर भन्नुभयो होइन. त्यो हुँदाखेरि चाहिँ अब first major point of problem was batti thena. They want to do something with their lives. There's so much they're dreaming about. They're making moves on building an economy that can sustain their entire ecosystem. but what's not working for them is they don't have electricity.
बत्ती नै छैन
Guests incoming are just sustaining on vision of lights, candle lights, tuki, है अनि it's interesting के but they can do so much more if they had electricity. त्यहाँबाट झर्ने बित्तिकै अब कहिलेकाहीँ त मनमै बस्छ नि त ठाउँहरू बत्ती पुर्याउँछु भन्ने अठोट एउटा शक्ति भनौँ कि एउटा सोच जाग्यो भन्नु न. Sometimes it just takes an experience or a moment of realization for you to do something for someone रहेछ कि अनि त्यसपछि यहाँ आएपछि NEA-सँग direct contact गर्नु जाँदाखेरि चाहिँ somehow luckily my stars aligned. I got in touch with कुलमानजी. हाम्रो 10-20 वर्षदेखि पहल गरेको एउटा ठाउँमा हाम्रो उपर दाङगढीमा बत्ती नपुग्दाखेरि मिस नेपालको अप्रोच प्लेटफर्म पावर भनौँ न र कनेक्सन्सले 4 महिनामा हामीले यो ठाउँमा बत्ती पुर्यायौँ.
Congratulations, good job, fantastic.
झिलिमिली बत्ती नपुगेको ठाउँमा I don't know how that happened. I don't know how I was made to do that for these people, but I'm so glad it happened. बत्ती पुगेपछि चाहिँ हाम्रो again we had obstacles. There were so many hurdles. किन भन्दाखेरि उहाँहरूको रेगुलर इन्कम थिएन. गुरुङहरूको होमस्टे हुँदा हुँदा पनि हाम्रो चेपाङ बस्ती पनि छ नि त गाउँमा. त्यही भएर उहाँहरूलाई चाहिँ कसरी अगाडि बढाएर अब मिटर राख्नु पनि पैसा चाहियो. बत्ती राखेपछि बिल आउँछ बत्तीको बिल पनि भर्नु पर्यो नि त. ट्रान्समिटरमा वायर राखेर आफ्नो घर घरमा बत्ती पनि जोड्नु पर्यो नि त. त्यो सबैको लागि बत्तीको पैसा छैन कि एट द एन्ड अफ द डे. यो हर्डल्सहरूलाई पार गर्नु चाहिँ देन माई एन्टरप्रेन्योर ब्याकग्राउन्ड केम इन कि सोशली हाउ आई क्यान कनेक्ट देम टु द लोकल मार्केट्स वेयर दे क्यान जेनेरेट रेभेन्युज, regular incomes, monthly incomes, where they can not only sustain their livelihoods in senses of electrical bills, but they can also provide for their children. I know, for schooling, for education, for fooding, for lodging, all these aspects को लागि चाहिँ के गर्नु सक्छ भन्दाखेरि चाहिँ अब उहाँले गरिरहनु भएको एउटा होमस्टे बिजनेस त थियो. नेथम was kind enough to collaborate with us.
Natham College?
Natham College हाम्रो यही छ नि, government run college हो. They were kind enough to associate with us, trainings दिनुभयो. अहिले जानुभयो भने र म गएको बेला जानुभएको भए you would see a completely different उपर दाङगढी. I wish I had pictures. I do have pictures on my phone. I can send you that, you know. पहिला मैले चाउचाउ खानु काटा चम्चा माग्नु पर्थ्यो भने अहिले खाना पनि थकाली स्टाइलमा सर्भ गर्नुहुन्छ कि. त्यो सँगसँगै नाथम कलेजको चाहिँ उहाँहरूको 7-day training processesमा they just don't teach you how to serve food. They also teach you, they actually really analyze what you have in your surrounding, what your resources are, and they teach you how to capitalize on them. सिस्नो थियो, सिस्नोसँग के नै गर्ने र तरकारी मात्रै खाने भन्ने उनीहरूको सोच हुन्छ नि त. रेगुलर थिङ्किङ म्यानको सोचै त्यही हुन्छ. सुप बनाउनु सिकाउनु भयो, अचार बनाउनु सिकाउनु भयो. सो अहिले जे खान्छौँ नि त्यही उब्जाउ हुने खानाहरू हुन्छ तर इट्स कम्प्लिटली डिफ्रेन्ट के. थकाली स्टाइलमा सर्भ गर्नुहुन्छ. जाने बित्तिकै उहाँहरूको आफ्नै थों चाडहरू हुन्छ होला होइन. हाउ टु वेलकम गेस्ट डिफ्रेन्ट छ. फ्लावर्सहरू द्याट यु फाइन्ड अराउन्ड उपर दाङगढी दे गिभ यु द्याट. देन वी अल्सो ह्याड डाबर एसोसिएट विथ अस. हनी बी फार्मिङ गरेछौँ हामीले माथि. पहिला चाहिँ यस्तो ट्री लग्सहरू हुन्छ नि बार्क्सहरूमा they used to capitalize on some amount of honey. उहाँहरूले चाहिँ लोकली आउटसोर्स गर्नु हुँदैन थियो. आफ्नै जो आउनुहुन्छ होमस्टेमा बस्नुलाई उहाँहरूलाई हनी खुवाउनु हुन्थ्यो एन्ड द्याट्स इट के. तर दे हेभ द स्केल बेच्ने केही पनि थिएन. प्लस स्केल पनि थिएन नि त. अब ब्यारल रक फार्मिङमा कति नै स्केलमा हनी बी फार्मिङ हुन्छ त. हनी अब 7 to 10 kgs एनुअली प्रड्युस हुन्छ भने हामीले डाबरसँग कनेक्ट गर्दाखेरि we gave them grids के honey bee grids. त्यो ग्रिडबाट चाहिँ 7 to 70 kgs. We're producing 70 kg annually.
यो कति स्प्यानमा प्रियङ्का?
It takes 6 months.
No, त्यो मात्र भने यो सबै भएको चाहिँ कति स्प्यानमा हो?
It took me 1.5 years.
1.5 years. Yeah. In 1.5 years you've practically
and I'm glad I had 1.5 years. के नत्र मैले hospitality र यो इलेक्ट्रिसिटीमा मात्रै सीमित हुन्थ्यो होला नि. Since I had time, I also had the scope to do more, to actually analyze what's happening around the place.
Fantastic, great job. सबैजनालाई त्यो भिडियो पनि देखाउन एक्सपो त्यो अघि नै त्यो हाम्रो केसमा अगाडि त्यो भिडियो हेरेको थियो नि होइन. त्यो भिडियो देखाउँदा भिलेज भन्ने भिडियो चाहिँ पहिला देखाउँदा मलाई एकदम सबैजनालाई यो भिडियो चाहिँ देखाउनु मन लाग्यो किनभने
can you imagine 7 to 70 kgs? That's like into 100 if you look at it's not actual maths, but if you look at the scale and scope, इन 2000 चाहिँ भने पनि हुन्छ कि
एक सेकेन्ड जस्ट होल्ड इट ल डाबरले के दिने रहेछ यो चाहिँ उनीहरूले त्यो
They
ग्रिड
give you
सिस्टम
grids
भनेर
के?
चाहिँ बक्सहरू दिने
घर्राहरू हुन्छ कि बक्सहरू हुन्छ Do you want to look at the pictures? I can
no,
send you
no.
later. You can paste it.
we can google it so बक्सहरू चाहिँ दिन्छ उनीहरूले
Honeybee grids. Yes, you can Google
honeybee
that.
grids भन्छ यसलाई
Yeah, yeah.
Nice man and it actually works
Wonders if you have trainings के so उहाँहरूले हामीलाई ग्रिड मात्रै होइन उहाँहरूले हामीलाई ट्रेनिङ्स पनि दिनुभयो नि त so where I come in is डाबरले बनाइदिनु भएको हनीलाई I can locally market them हाम्रो बिग मार्टहरू हुन्छ भाटपटिनीहरू हुन्छ नि यस्तो मार्केटहरूलाई कनेक्ट गरिदियो भने चाहिँ हाम्रो नेपालले सोर्स गर्ने एक्चुअल हनी छैन नि त so we can actually become the only sources of honey in Nepal के
that's fantastic
but it needs to work well
It needs to work well. Do me a favor, यो honey को कुरा गरे भने let's give a shout out to my friend's company called Mad Honey. There's a specific honey company that's very specific हैन के थियो रे हामीलाई पठाएको थियो नि एकजना साथीले चाहिँ हामीलाई best mad honey हैन make sure that
it's a psychedelic type हो
I don't know that
हाम्रो चाहिँ प्योर हनी हो
यो चाहिँ pure मलाई चाहिँ यो बेस्ट म्यान हनी चाहिँ मलाई एकजना साथीले पठाउनु भएको थियो हैन यत्रो डब्बा थियो हैन रिमेम्बर अहिले पनि छ क्या त्यो डब्बा यु ट्राइड इट हैन डिडन्ट यु ट्राई इट
सबैले ट्राई गरे
Did you get some fun effects? No. ठिक छ alright let's show the video as well I know it's fantastic yeah हामीले आफ्नै गर्ने भने त्यो ग्रिड सिस्टम चाहिँ I've been trying to read up on the honey के मलाई इन्ट्रेस्ट I'll catch up
I'll hold that thought
हैन किनभने त्यो हाम्रो त्यो एउटा सानो मेरो साथीको फार्म छ के सो अस्ति भर्खर we were talking about that के let's show the video to everybody such a beautiful video and then play the another video go back from this X ठ्याक्कै त्यो माथिको होइन त्योभन्दा तलको एक्सेप्ट तलको हो that one हैन त यो हैन
That's the school. Actually, can you please pause on this? Or this?
Pause है
Anything works. Actually, अघिको स्कुलको vicinity देखाउँदाखेरि चाहिँ
यो
यहाँ चाहिँ हाम्रो कम्युनिटी हल बन्दैछ कि त सो द एन्ड गोल अफ आवर प्रोजेक्ट इज अब यो दुईवटा सेक्टरहरू त दिइसक्यो नि होइन हामीले हनीबी फार्मिङ र हस्पिटालिटीको ट्रेनिङ दियो होइन बट टु बिल्ड द कम्युनिटी टुगेदर वी गिभिङ देम अ कम्युनिटी हल कि सो द्याट उनीहरू बसेर मिटिङ्सहरू गर्नु सकोस् द स्कुल्स क्यान युज द प्रपर्टी दे डोन्ट ह्याभ वान बिल्डिङ दे कल देयर ओन सो टु बिल्ड अ पर्पस अफ कम्युनिटी इन द पिपल अराउन्ड this locality we're building them a community hall त्यो hall चाहिँ ठ्याक्कै यो portals then जस्तो छ नि त्यो just the gap between two houses we're building a community hall there and it's done अघिको भिडियोमा चाहिँ त्यो community hall को हामीले के भन्छ फाउन्डेसन हाल्छ नि त्यो पूजाको भिडियो थियो कि त्यो खासमा जग हाल्ने
यो इन्टरनेट युट्युबमा छ
छैन nothing's released this is the entire village can you imagine
sound develop कस्तो beautiful
this is it
बाटो छ नि मान्छेमा
त्यो गडी भयो see the stairs walking up
साउन्ड कमर
that is the stair
माथिसम्मै जानुपर्ने रहेछ है
this is the चेपाङ बस्ती यस्तो छ कि चेपाङ बस्ती यहाँ छ
यो नानी चाहिँ
one of the girls who used to stay in Upardangari but had to drop out because काम गर्नु थियो.
बस्तीमा चाहिँ कतिजना रहेछन् एक हिसाबले भन्दाखेरि?
We have 275 people in total.
कस्तो मजाको गाडी थियो है एक्स? Give it sound, Babu. सक्यो?
There should be more.
There should be more, buddy. There should be more. Play. अघि नै हेर्दाखेरि त अरू पनि थियो नि. बिचतिर जाउँछ?
Yeah.
यहाँबाट. हाम्रो प्रोडक्सन क्वालिटी घटिरहेछ. कति दिन बस्यो यता? प्रियङ्का?
म त महिनाको 2-3 दिन बसिरहेको हुन्छु यहाँ.
गाउँघरमा सबैजना चिनिसक्यो होला.
We're all like family. ढेँडो खानु बोलाइरहनु हुन्छ जहिले.
This is the next generation. यहाँबाट भाइ बहिनीहरू प्रधानमन्त्री राष्ट्रपति हुने चान्स छँदैछ नि.
We can only hope.
छैन नि.
We can only hope.
चान्स छ. बनाउनुपर्छ, हामीले बनाउनुपर्छ. They are the ones who are going to be running the country.
Yeah.
बाटो पनि मजाले पुग्दै रहेछ. पुगिसकेको रहेछ. भनौँ न हैन?
उहाँहरूले देशै नबनाए पनि देश बनाउने मान्छे छान्नु सकोस् न. Let them be aware of things like that. Education is so important, and for education, awareness is so important. Okay? Education मात्रै भनेर पनि हुँदैन. You need to know why education is important. And for them, when things like education come across, बत्ती नै छैन, पैसा नै छैन, education is the least of their problems. Okay? शिक्षित हुनु त लास्टमा हुन्छ नि त उहाँहरूको प्रब्लम लाइनअपमा. त्यही भएर when you take down measures of scope to work on for these people, they progress towards bigger problem like education. Okay? So that opens portals where they can choose people that they can elect, that they like. When they have opinions, when they have their own flow of thoughts, that's when they choose people. That's when they also choose if they want to elect themselves or put themselves in a power generating positions or not, you know. But for that to happen, you need to have hurdles go out. And I'm only the medium where small problems like electricity, which are bigger problems for places like that, go out.
खुलमान सरलाई भेट्दाखेरि चाहिँ कस्तो थियो प्रियङ्का? फर्स्ट टाइम भेट्दाखेरि?
Fangirl moment भनेको त्यही हुँदो रहेछ कि. So when you meet people in power of positions, you meet people in power of changes who bring about revolutions, who bring about things that can make difference, not just for you, but for your parents, for your community, for your country. Okay? When you meet people like that, you understand the scope of power, you understand the scope of things you can do when you stand in a position where you can do things rightly or wrongly. So education भनेको चाहिँ उहाँको माध्यमबाट it just not sector you in books. It sectors you in a way where you impart the things that you know, you impart your learnings, you impart the things that you care about onto people as well. That's where care comes in. Okay? So उहाँले आफूले आफ्नोलाई मात्रै गर्नु लागेन, उहाँले चिन्ता गरेर अरूकोलाई पनि राम्रो एउटा एटमोस्फियर बनाइदिनु भएछ नि त. So when I met him, it was a complete fangirl moment. But when I look back, I learned a lot. I learned too much. I learned how to give back to the community. I learned how to care for people. I learned how when you stand or sit on a chair, it does not only make you a person, it pushes you towards making people around you, those people as well. So influence, that's where it comes from him.
Is an influence in your life as well, exactly. In my life too. Don't
you think he changed our lives?
Exactly.
16-17 घण्टा लोड सेडिङमा बस्ने मान्छेहरूलाई यसरी पडकास्ट गर्नु जुन बेला पनि That's a huge change.
No, that is, and I've been trying to get a hold of him to come here. तर मलाई उहाँको अब समय अमूल्य समय अब कतिखेर निकालौँ भन्ने मात्र भइरहेछ होइन. मैले रिक्वेस्ट त गरेको छु उहाँलाई पनि आउनुको लागि होइन. Good that you met him. होइन. Did you meet him a couple of times or did you meet him once?
I met him twice.
Met him twice.
That was enough.
Supported, proactive, एकदमै.
एकदमै भेटे अनि so this is the project, this is what I'm rooting towards, this is my vision भन्दाखेरि his vision aligned to उहाँको चाहिँ 100% नेपाललाई इलेक्ट्रिफाई गर्ने अभियान छ नि त. त्यही भएर he was more than happy to get on board. यो ठाउँमा 10-15 वर्ष 20 वर्ष भनौँ न बत्ती पुऱ्याउँछु भनेर यति धेरै फल्स प्रोमिसेस आउँदाखेरि हाम्रो प्रोजेक्टले 4 महिनामा पुऱ्याउनु it had a huge scale of support from the NEA, especially Kunmalsa.
Fantastic. No, good for you, and good that you got a hold of him and he supported. I've heard my सुनेछु उहाँले धेरैजना साथीहरूलाई सपोर्ट गर्नुहुन्छ भनेर होइन. Friends who come to
seek help for good job.
होइन. Majority of the friends want to make a difference. They want to do better for the country. होइन. अब छन् बिचमा बिचौलिया बिचमा ठग चोर होइन. भ्रष्टाचारीहरू कमी छैन होइन. जति पनि यहाँ बसेर भन्नु मिल्छ होइन. छन् छन् मोस्ट प्रोबब्ली घट्दै होला नि तर छन् त्यसमा कम हुनै छैन होइन. एक्स डु मी अ फेभर गो टु मिस नेपाल 2022 को त्यो फिनालेमा जाउँ चाहिँ एकपल्ट सबैजनालाई देखाउन. लेट्स डु अ रिक्याप मोमेन्ट होइन.
Oh my god.
होइन त्यो एङ्जाइटी एन्टिसिपेसन एक्साइटमेन्ट त्यो रस होइन त्यो चाहिँ मैले 2022 मा मैले चाहिँ हेर्न पाइनँ होइन.
But I literally had nothing like that. I was numb by the end of the competition.
No.
Numb.
Oh, right at the end. This is the moment. Play sound didn't मिल्दैन. This
मिल्दैन हो?
Okay.
Is it the copyright thing?
There you go. This is the moment, होइन. Yeah, that is. And दिवाकर सरले ठ्याक्क नाम भन्दाखेरि
फेरि दिवाकर सरको चाहिँ अब ड्रामेटिक नुहान्सेसहरू हुँदैन नि त. He's not a host. So he's just like, Miss Nepal is number 17. That's my family.
Hey, go back.
No, my dad, my brother's taking pictures, my grandmom.
What's your brother's name? Aryan, होइन.
Aryan, how do you know?
Aryan, होइन.
Oh my god, how do you know that?
अलिअलि थाहा छ मलाई होइन. ऊ हाम्रो गोपाल सर बस्नु भएको छ, म्याम बस्नु भएको छ होइन. इभाना इज राइट देयर होइन. यसो हेर्दाखेरि मैले चिन्ने साथीहरू धेरैजना हुँदैछ. That's your brother?
Yeah, with the phone. My dad is like, yay!
Everybody's super excited माथि होइन.
I think my mom just like fainted on some chair somewhere far away.
How was this moment? What was going in your mind?
The most special moment I think I've ever lived, because when you work towards achieving something, it's a personal set goal and you're working towards it on your own. But here, you had to have a youth support system at the back. Did we lose the video?
No, we didn't lose the video. X just decided to be like, all right, I showed it, we're done.
And then I think it's okay.
अनि
So when I go back to this moment, मैले भने नि अघि यहाँसम्म build up हुँदाखेरि चाहिँ I was completely numb because you don't know of the results. You of course don't know of the results. You put your 100%. What I've realized with me is I suffer, I sacrifice, then I strike when you're put in a competition. So I suffered. There's so much hard work. पहिलेदेखि अब मिस नेपाल हुन्छु भन्दाखेरि it's not a small goal you put for yourself. You represent your country. You have to put in hard work. Go to the gym, that's one thing. Build a community, that's another social thing that you put yourself towards. You're just young. You're 21, 22, trying to build a community hall for somebody by the ground level. That's where hard work comes in. You sacrifice on your sleep. You sacrifice on your family time. You sacrifice on the things that normal 21, 22 does. You're on the rush. You're on the grow. But when I strike, all these things make sense.
Yeah.
That's the result.
Yeah.
And I think that is what I've built up towards the end of this event as well. My last strike with the answers were done. So when I look back, it's a moment of comfort for me. This is when I sleep that night and start that process again from tomorrow.
Beautiful. Oh, beautiful.
In my head, I'm looking at my parents. They're so happy for me. They've been my support system for the longest time. They've actually dreamt the dream with me. So it wasn't my personal victory, it was a shared victory. But now my mission again is not a personal mission, it's for the country. It's for Nepal neither.
Very well said. Wow, very well said. Very well said. 1.5 years ago?
1.5 years, it just went by. And you know what gives me a major sense of satisfaction? This happened. When you do pageant, it takes a lot out of you. It takes minutes out of you. It takes hours from you. It asks for it. It just does not take it. So when you're giving so much into it, 2 years is a long, long time. Where personal growth to stunt huncha ni ta. But again, when I look back to it, my master's porn that I can still do, even when I'm 30, even when I'm 40. But the sense of purpose, the sense of giving, the sense of satisfaction that this platform has given to me, I could have never extracted from any other experience in the world. And I wouldn't exchange anything for it. And that's what pageantry is. I think we met, Sanjay, after this happened, after my crowning night was the first time in Nirvik Nari.
Nirvik Nari ma ni भेटायो and this level 3 ma भेटायो खास.
तर professionally चाहिँ Nirvik Nari ma भेटेको थिएँ. It was a panel discussion on youth perspectives on things, especially around Nepal, हैन. त्यहाँ हामी को थियो, म एकजना मिस नेपाल थिएँ होला, हैन. एकजना चाहिँ हाम्रो environmentalist हुनुहुन्थ्यो, एकजना we had a sports person, then we had an entrepreneur, हैन. What this platform does is, when you stand in a platform like that, nobody probably can relate to you, but you can relate to everybody. Okay? It certainly instills a feeling and a sense of relevance in every sphere. I can connect to the entrepreneur. I have also a sense of environmentalist in me, and I also connect with the sportsmanship where hard work comes in. So you have a connecting factor on all these outsources of people in different professions, and that's what the beauty of pageantry is. Maन्छेले pageant के हो, glamour हो भनेर भन्ठान्छ नि त. No, it just gives you a sense of relevance where you're not talking about relevance in social media, in numbers. के हाम्रो numbers हेर्दाखेरि त अहिलेको pageant winnersहरूको, it probably does not even align with the TikTokers or the influencers who are out there. But relevance comes when you can connect to one person in a form and a shape where you're speaking the language that they can think in. And that's what pageantry does to you.
Beautiful. In a short span of time, a lot of friends might be thinking this, हैन. एकदम short span of time मा चाहिँ you become very famous, हैन. त्यो हुन्छ नि, let's say त्यो I've heard this somebody saying this, किन कस्तो छोटो समयमा हुन्छ, ट्रेनिङ पनि एकदम छोटो समयमा 1 महिना
हाम्रो 2 हप्ता
COVID time थियो र थिएन?
No, we just had 2 weeks somehow.
ए हो र, you guys just let me stick with the 1 month period,
okay.
Right? Okay, let me stick with the 1 month period. I didn't know that there was just 2 weeks for you guys.
No, हाम्रो चाहिँ खासमा कोभिडले गरेर हाम्रो अगाडिको प्याटर्न अलिकति शिफ्ट भयो थियो. सो त्यो टाइमलाइन जुलाईको टाइमलाइनमा फिट हुनु चाहिँ प्याटर्न गर्नै पर्यो नि त. 2 हप्तामै भयो थियो. And also our batch didn't need a lot of training.
So deciding that you're going to go ahead and join Miss Nepal, you know, you're going to at least apply for it, right? कतिजना साथीहरूले सोचिरहनु भएको छ होला अहिले कि म पनि अप्लाई गर्छु भनेर, हैन. That person might be 14, might be 15, even though I'm trying to say that they don't watch my show, but maybe their parents are, हैन.
If they are.
Maybe their parents are, right? Let me stick with that, right?
Sanjay, but let me cut you off.
Yeah.
But conversations like this is so important because even if they don't watch it today, there will come a time when they can go back and they have a reference point to get off on. Okay? And it's not just for today. This is going to be there forever.
Forever.
And that is the value of internet. Okay? It's not for all the negativity. It's not for trolling. It's not for cancel culture. Internet is actually there for connection. And this is the connection that we're sending out with communication that just the two of us are having through our conversation. Okay?
And let's carry forward with that. Okay. And like you said, down the road somebody might be watching it. And like you said, so त्यो deciding factors चाहिँ तिम्रो लागि चाहिँ कहिले थियो के?
About when I want to apply for Miss Nepal.
म अप्लाई गर्छु भनेर नि रिस्क हुन्छ एउटा त, हैन र?
रिस्क हो नि.
हार्ने त रिस्क हुन्छ नि त एउटा. अप्लाई त्यहाँसम्म पुगेर हार्नु आफ्नो ठाउँमा छ, हैन. Just to even apply and not get an answer back. कल ब्याकै नपाउने पनि त. मैले मिस नेपालको कुरा मात्र गरेँ हैन, मैले इन लाइफमै कुरा गरेँ हैन. कतिचोटि हामीले कता न कता अप्लाई गर्न खोज्छौँ तर एउटा डर के हुन्छ, मलाई नै भनौँ न हैन, डर के हुन्छ मलाई कलै नगर्ने हो कि, होइन म त्यो व्यक्तिले मेसेज नपठाइदिने हो कि होइन मतलबै नगरिदिने हो कि त्यो एउटा रिस्क त जहिले पनि हुन्छ नि त होइन सो जस्ट टु अप्लाई टु मिस नेपाल सिन्स वी आर टकिङ अबाउट इट राइट वाट वेन्ट थ्रु योर माइन्ड
It wasn't a decision I took on a whim. I had planned on joining Miss Nepal actually in 2021, but COVID hit, so I had to push back a year. But again, like I said, it wasn't a whim, and I also the risk factor amongst 24 girls that we had on stage, for me, was 23 out of 1 neither. You're the chance of winning out of 23%, 23 the hard so neither. So it's a huge, huge risk. So that's when the entrepreneur spirit in me pushed me forward to take up the risk because it's all about risk in life. Life is never left out of comfort zones. When you push yourself, when you take that risk, when you take a chance for yourself, you build your career, you build your future, you know. त्यही भएर अब लिन्छु भन्ने त थियो होइन दिस इयर वाइ बिकज म अमेरिका गइसकेको थिएँ कि हाम्रो फ्यामिली बिजनेस चाहिँ गरगहनाको छ त्यही भएर अब जुडी उता राम्रो पढाउने भएको कारणले चाहिँ जेमोलोजी पढ्नु गइसकेको थिएँ एन्ड यु विल नट बिलिभ आई केम ब्याक ओन्ली फर मिस नेपाल त्यहाँ गयो भने त मास्टर्स 3 वर्ष हुन्छ 3 वर्ष पढ्नु थाल्यो भने इट विल नट मेक सेन्स इन माई टाइम लाइन टु कम ब्याक एन्ड अप्लाई फर मिस नेपाल जितिहाल्यो भने मिस वर्ल्डको लागि 1 वर्ष छुट्याएर इट वुडन्ट मेक सेन्स नि त 26-28 पुगेपछि त युर इन अ कम्प्लिटली डिफ्रेन्ट स्टेट अफ माइन्ड सो आई थट इभन इफ आई कम ब्याक घर त हो जसले पनि राखिहाल्छ होइन जिते 1 वर्ष छुटाउनु मलाई केही पनि छैन हारे आई क्यान अलवेज रिअप्लाई 6 months लेटर नि होइन इट्स नट माई सिट इज नेभर गोइङ अवे सो आई ह्याड टु टेक अ ह्युज स्कोप of luck and I had to believe in myself to come back and take that chance. I know. Yeah. But that moment came by, coming back to your question, when I thought if I didn't give myself a chance now, I will never have it again.
Exactly.
If I don't take a chance on myself today, nobody else will tomorrow. So when I thought these thoughts, then I had to come back.
Well done. And
I'm lucky it worked out.
To risk, not just luck. Luck is always there, you know. Like let me compliment you on what you just said. You know, luck is always there. Luck favors the brave and the bold ones, and you know, luck's definitely there. But it's the effort that you put in.
Yeah.
You know, it's the effort that you've put in.
You know, when we talk about effort, I have not shared this incident with anybody, not even my mom. It's so close to my heart. Even when I think about it, I have chills. I know. Sabaiलाई हेरे, all professionals. Auditionमा हेर्दाखेरि everyone was professionals in spheres of models, एकजना doctor थियो भने nurses हुनुहुन्थ्यो, pilots हुनुहुन्थ्यो. So they were all professionals, you know. As the competition went by, winning became less of my target, but learning was bigger perspective and a bigger vision for me. तर जाँदै गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ एकदम के भयो भन्दाखेरि अब सेल्फ रेस्पेक्ट हुन्छ नि त मान्छेहरूको मान्छेहरूले आफूलाई केही न केही त ठान्छ कि everybody thinks something of themselves, you know. And when somebody knocks on that aspect of your personality, that's when you wake up and think, oh my God, I'm sleeping out on myself. I need to push myself further. So that happened when we were all sitting down. हाम्रो चाहिँ सबै ट्रेनिङहरू पछि रशा म्यामले बसाउनुहुन्थ्यो एन्ड द्याट डे चाहिँ स्पेसिफिकली वी ह्याड टु टक अबाउट इच अदर कि कसलाई कसको के पर्सनालिटी मनपर्छ के कुरा मनपर्छ लिस्ट आउट प्रोज एन्ड कन्स अफ समवान्स ट्रेनिङ डेज होइन त्यसरी बस्दाखेरि चाहिँ हामी सबैजना बसिरहेको थियो एन्ड बिसाइड मी देयर वाज दिस गर्ल who had a certain passion background, so ma'am knew of her. Okay, you say just 2-3 days into the competition, so 25 जनाको नाम 2 दिनमा लर्न गर्नु that's not a big deal too. That's a big deal too. So you don't get equipped to everybody's name, हैन. अनि त्यति बेला sash ceremony भयो थिएन नाम लेखेको थिएन हैन अनि त्यसपछि म्यामले सोध्दै आउनु भयो we were all in a semicircle हैन अनि सोध्दै आउँदाखेरि चाहिँ अनि she finished with the girl beside me अनि फोन आयो फोनमा गयो अनि त्यसपछि then she looked at me नाम थाहा छैन नि त then she said the girl next to X, she knew the girl next to me, होइन सो उहाँको नाम चाहिँ लिनुभयो the girl next to X, what do you think भन्नुभयो कि उसको नाम थाहा छ मेरो नाम थाहा छैन किन थाहा छैन भनेर मलाई भित्रैबाट यस्तो एजिटेसन भयो कि बिकज नट बिकज आई हेटेड द्याट थिङ बट बिकज आई वाजन्ट मेकिङ प्रोग्रेस इन माई हेड आई वाजन्ट मेकिङ अ मार्क मैले मार्क लिभ गरेको भए त जसले भयो भने मेरो नाम याद गर्छ नि त इट्स अबाउट द इन्फ्लुएन्स द्याट यु हेभ अन समबडीज लाइफ होइन इट्स अबाउट द प्रोग्रेस द्याट यु मेकिङ प्लस इट्स अ टिचर सिटिङ अन फ्रन्ट
to remember your name.
It's a huge deal. So that's when I realized just making your face known isn't a big deal. When you're standing in a crowd, when someone looks back and calls you by your name, then you're memorable. Then you've done something. This Pashita Sanjay Dai, the 2 weeks after that, I did every single thing to make sure I was called only by my name. And 2 days after that, मेरो नामले नै बोलाउन थाल्नु भयो. Even the smallest detail that ma'am mentioned, I took note of it. I'm not aggressive about it, but I just wanted to make sure that my self-dignity was not massaged, but in a sense validated for myself so that it made sense for me to come back, take that risk, and make something out of the decision that I had taken. That's it. That one moment, that one mistake होइन नि त म्यामको द्याट वान मोमेन्ट फर हर चेन्ज माई लाइफ फर मी के न त म त चिल भएर बस्थेँ होला कम्पिटिसन हो जसले पनि जित्छ उसले जित्छ होला मैले जित्छ होला भनेर आई वुड लेट माई लक प्ले आउट लाइक यु सेड बट वेन एफर्ट्स केम इन द्याट्स आफ्टर द इन्सिडेन्ट द्याट आई मेन्सन्ड के
At the end of the day, like you said, हुन्छ नि होइन आफ्नो मार्क राख्नुको लागि आफैले काम गर्नुपर्छ
Yeah, that's when my ass caught fire.
कसैले पनि nobody's gonna hand you anything in life.
Apparently not.
होइन जसले सोचिरहेछ कि होइन कसैले आउँछ मलाई दिन्छ भनेर भने पनि यो संसार झन् अहिलेको संसारले
म
कसैले
चाहिँ
पनि
फेरि पहिला कस्तो थियो भन्दाखेरि बिफोर मिस नेपाल आई युज टु aspire to become something. Huge aspirations, I feel. I used to have inspirations on that too. My mother is my inspiration. This is my inspiration. I'll get up to here by this. But effort चाहिँ अब 20%, 30% लगाउँथ्यो होला के. But Miss Nepal teaches you the power of competition, not by pitting against another person who's sitting by you, but by honing onto your skills and capacity to move forward in life. And I'm so thankful for that spirit in me because that is the spirit of sportsmanship. And that is the power, that is the spirit that will take you much ahead, much further in life.
You have to talk to yourself. You talk to your mind, right? You have to tell your mind that I can do it. I got to wake up at 5 a.m. in the morning or 6 a.m. in the morning, whatever it is.
You've got to talk to yourself kindly, that is firstly.
Sure.
Manifesting is the second thing.
I wish everybody could do that. Talk to yourself kindly. And manifestation.
Yeah, but you are your own biggest criticized going to man. You are the hardest on yourself, but you also know what you can possibly do. So if you push yourself in the criticisms that you make out of yourself, then that is the most beautiful victory.
Very well said. आफूभित्रै छ के सबै थोक हैन. We have the universe. We have the good and evil and the universe all within ourselves.
The universe in you.
Everything
the universe
is inside.
is in you.
Everything is inside, all right? So at the end of the day, you just got to figure out that you got to talk to yourself and find out the good and the evil as well as everything. The whole everything is within you.
Sanjay, like you don't talk to yourself kindly.
No, sometimes you can't. I can't sometimes talk to myself
and
kindly.
That's okay.
No.
That's really okay.
No. I know. Just imagine when you have to make tough decisions, very tough decisions, and then for those tough decisions you can be like, oh.
It takes harsh thoughts. It takes it.
I know.
So that's okay. So kindly does not mean, oh, baba, la, afulai, sum, kindly means, even in those hard decisions, you're soft on yourself, you can get through one, kind, okay? But if you have to run that 200 miles, you have to do it. Kind does not mean don't do it, you'll hurt yourself, you'll bruise yourself. You'll bruise yourself anyway if you do not make that mark that you think you can. I know? Think kind thoughts for yourself. Okay?
I'll add one kind thought to myself. X, remember that. I'm going to make sure that I put a quote
I can only hope.
आगो र पानी दुईटै हामी भित्र हुन्छ. आगोले नै पानीलाई भेपर बनाउँछ हैन अनि त्यसपछि पानीले नै आगोलाई निभाउँछ के हैन. You have both of them in you.
Yeah.
Right? You got to figure out which one you are at what point of your day, your second, your hour, your 24 hours, your 365 days, right? So which one are you at what moment? Are you fire or are you water?
What of these elements do you connect with most?
Ooh, that's a good question. Thasa, that's a good question. I think I stick with fire a little bit more. How about you?
I am water.
Oh?
मैले मेरो इन्ट्रोडक्सनमा पनि मिस नेपालको बेला अगाडि बोलाउनुहुन्छ कि म्यामले सो इन्ट्रोड्युस यर सेल्फ भन्नुहुन्छ कन्ट्ररी टु एभ्रिबडिज बिलिभ pageant is not about talking rubbish things and about just makeup and beauty. It is one of the biggest aspects that they make you talk, they make you think, they make you realize, I know. And introduction ko lai agadi bolaunu bhayo, and for some reason I said my name is so and so, this is what I did, this is what I studied. Then I said, and as a person, I'm like water. And everybody turned back. And ma'am was like, what do you mean you're like water? Then I told her, I flow with my own whim. I know what to think, but I also contain the shape of things that flexibly puts me in a situation where it is also comfortable to others around me. So I can be the mountains for you. I can flow like waters for you, but I'm also like a tornado that can eat you up sometimes.
Fantastic.
I said that, and I don't know what hit me then.
Yeah.
I don't know what made me say it, but since then, until now, I do believe I flow like water.
Awesome. Well, आगो र पानी दुईटा बसिरहेछ नि आजको त्यो अघि नै थाहा छ त्यो सुस्मिता सेनको हामीले हेरेको थियो नि त्यो भिडियो होइन मैले त्यो केही समय अगाडि हेरेँ हो कि त्यो भयो होला 2-3 वर्ष अगाडि नै हेरेँ होला मैले होइन त्यो उनले कसलाई पो एक्सप्लेन गरेर हुन्छन् कि होइन सी एक्सप्लेन दिस टु समबडी यसै कन्भर्सेसन गरेर बेलामा होइन मम्स देयर टु होइन I still remember I watched something else of her, she was talking about inspiration, like so-and-so inspired me, or so-and-so inspires me all the time, or as you grow in life, your inspiration changes. The person around you, they inspire you. Same question to you. What inspires you now, like now, in today's date, in 2023? What or who, like, however you want.
My inspiration has always been my mother, and I think that's going to remain constant forever because she's a trooper. She's built things for herself. She still does, and she will not stop. There comes a point in your life where you've given all you have to yourself and you think you're tired.
Yeah.
But she's that person who thinks she's tired, gets up anyway for another day, and does even better than she had the day that passed by. So that's going to remain constant forever. But like you said, inspirations can be more than one. I'm glad I found it at home, but most of my inspirations also came from my cousins. We as Nepalese, we grow up around cousins all the time. Don't you believe it?
Of course.
So I, coming from a family in maternal side, a huge family, when we were growing up, we were 16 of us, just young children. Cousins, they always set out a competition for you in the most positive aspect. My cousins, they were a little older than me, good with whatever they did. Educationally, it was youth for youth forums or काम गर्नुहुन्थ्यो हैन. One of my cousins, Jolia Mathia, she's also working at the UN. They set out these examples, and you also believe in possibilities of one person and just possibilities of dream. And Nepalma Kwalkuma boseko manche, she just dreamt one day she'll work at the UN. She packed her bags, left, worked her ass off, of course. I know. There competition हुन्छ नि त. She had to work every day and night. बिहान नभनिकन राति नभनिकन. And she got to a state where she's hosting stages for the UN Secretary Summit, General Assembly उहाँले नै चलाउनुहुन्छ हैन. To see people like that, it inspires me. More so over, but inspirations it always changes, it always fluctuates. It's about the state of mind you're in at that moment. अहिले मैले beauty pageant winners हेर्छु भने भोलि म business start गरे भने I'll watch Ambani, I'll watch हाम्रो चौधरी साहबहरु हैन. So it changes day and night by the progress that you're making in life. So अहिले हेर्दाखेरि चाहिँ my inspirations are the people who come from Upar Dangari. They're another set of troopers. They're the people who believe in themselves, who believe things will happen to them, and it has happened. So that is the kind of inspiration that I want to take forward as I go to Miss World as well. I should believe in myself. Then the world will believe in me. Then my country will believe in me. I know. So to set that tone and precedent, I take their perspective and their vigorous and generous aspect to life, their vision to life, as my inspirations to Miss World.
Not everybody सबैको त्रुटिहरू हुन्छ नि होइन अब सबै त्रुटि भने flaws, everybody has flaws नि त होइन like not everybody is perfect, right? Everybody has to go through so many different things to even like we talked about water, right? Even for that water to flow, it has to break into so many different soil, rock, हुन्छ नि होइन, land, trees, God knows how many different things हुन्छ नि होइन. Do you feel like you since we talked about water and you're flowing, हुन्छ नि होइन, how far do you think you've reached in your life when it comes to like that movement, हुन्छ नि?
Sanjay, I think I have not even started.
Oh, that's what you feel?
I feel like I'm blooming as a flower now. I'm budding as a flower now. I know I'm born. I know there's a purpose in me. I know I can do so much when I bloom. I know I can spread powerful colors across the world when I blossom. But I'm just budding now. If you ask me where I am in life, I've lived just 25 years. If you look at human history, if you look at that dichotomy, you live up to 75 years. If you're healthy, if you're happy, I know.
Sure.
That's only hope you can have. So I've only lived like, 5% of my life? So I'm budding now. With my experiences, I'm turning into that flower that I want to be. I know what I want to bloom into, but I'm only taking my steps towards it. Okay? I've not even blossomed. So my fragrances are blossoming around me. I'm budding. I'm taking shape of the things that I want to be. In 5 years from now, I see myself blooming into a flower that can take shape, that can have a recognition, that has their own identity. Then I blossom into a flower that has nectars, that can survive, that bees survive on, that sustains ecology. So that is where I am as a flower now. I'm just budding. I'm just starting.
You thought of the decade? एक दशकमा के गर्छु भनेर मलाई यसो लागिरहेछ कि तिम्रो भिजन्सहरू र म्यानिफेस्टेसन त गरिसकेका छौ.
होइन, म्यानिफेस्टेसन भनेको एकदमै मेरो लागि चाहिँ मान्छेहरूले लामो लामो म्यानिफेस्टेसन्स राख्न सक्छ कि लामो भन्नाले धेरै लामो अवधिको लागि होइन. दे क्यान थिङ्क वेयर दे वान्ट टु बी 10 years from now. But my manifestations are very short lived के आजको भोलि हुन्छ होइन. I'm not very, as I said before, not very aspirations or बोकेको छ तर inspired चाहिँ I'm not at every hour of the day. There are times when I just sit down too. So मेरो लागि चाहिँ it's just about making next day productive. My manifestations are just that.
One day at a time?
1 minute at a time.
Even better. I wish I could teach me how to do that. I have long-term goals and visions. Oh, I know.
No, it's good to have that.
I stick with very, very long-term stuff. मेरो केसमा चाहिँ I like it because it gives me a way farther perspective. Okay?
It's always good as that.
एकदमै टाढोको पर्सपेक्टिभ चाहिन्छ कि मलाई चाहिँ किनभने अब अफकोर्स पिपल विल से कजाहरूले भन्दा आजको भोलि बाँच्दैन के हुन्छ मरिहाल्ला यो त्यो सबै छ होइन. तर त्यो भन्दै चाहिँ एउटा त्यो लामो भिजन चाहिँ राख्नु मन लाग्छ क्या मलाई किनभने I kind of like knowing where I'm headed towards.
That is important too because you need to have a sense of your destination, you know. But with that, what I've learned with life is you need to live life in compartments, के होइन. मलाई भोलि गएर खतरा एउटा business woman हुनु छ होइन तर now I'm a pageant lady नि त. So my compartment is what I do today should build an excellence of stairs for me to step on tomorrow that will build another excellent setup that will take me to that destination that I want to reach. Okay? So each step with excellence at one time.
Beautiful. No, I love the way you said compartments. के त्यो फिल गर्दै जाने हो नि त हैन. फिल गर्दै जाने हो नि त हैन. That's so well put, थाहा छ.
But you need to have a sense of destination like you said. You need to know what you want to do but not be concrete on it. के यो भएन भने चाहिँ I'm not going to be happy भनेर राख्यो भने चाहिँ अनि त्यो भनेर राख्यो भने चाहिँ then you're setting yourself to destruction. But what's distortion and what's dismantling is revolutionizing your own thoughts for yourself. And that comes only with a set goal of destination. Okay? Destination हुनु पर्यो, destruction हुनु भएन के.
Are you happy in small things or big things?
I'm happy.
Let's jump into this.
Okay.
Small things or big things? At 25, I was different. I'll share with you that. At 25, how do you feel? Small things make you happy, or like something major needs to happen?
Major things make me happy. But small moments make life worth living.
Very well put. गजबले भन्यो होइन 25मा चाहिँ मलाई चाहिँ ठुल्ठुलो कुराहरूले खुसी बनाउँथ्यो होइन मलाई मेरो 25 हेर्दाखेरि होइन
भिक्ट्री त अनि ठुलै हुनु पर्यो नि त होइन
अहिले चाहिँ हो होइन हो नो डाउट नो स्याडो अफ डाउट अन द्याट अहिले चाहिँ त्यो सानो कुराले चाहिँ त्यो स्मल मोमेन्ट हुन्छ नि सानोभन्दा सानो आज गिभ यु एक्जाम्पल मेरो घरबाट गाडी निकालिरहेको थिएँ आज मैले होइन साङ्गुरो छ कि मेरो होइन अनि एकजना दाजु चाहिँ
साङ्गुरो त्यो गलीमा Have you heard this poem? Okay, sorry, I cut you off. No.
Say the poem.
I don't know after that.
साङ्गुरो त्यो गलीमा एकजना दाजु आउँदै हुनुहुन्थ्यो कि आज बिहान होइन उहाँको भर्खर सुरु भइरहेको थियो होला दिन होइन म बिहान निस्केको थिएँ म होइन अनि केरा बेच्नु हुँदो रहेछ उहाँले साइकलमा होइन अनि पछाडि टन्न केरा तर कपडाले छोप्नु भएको थियो होइन अनि त्यो कपडाको माथि चाहिँ 3-4वटा केरा थियो होइन गाडी जाँदैछ मेरो अनि चाहिँ उहाँ आउँदै हुन्थ्यो अनि उहाँ आइरहेको बेलामा चाहिँ उहाँले छेउमा छेउ लगाउनु पऱ्यो साइड दिनु पऱ्यो होइन अनि मैले अनि त्यसपछि ठ्याक्क आउँदाखेरि चाहिँ मैले झट्ट रोकेँ यसो हेरेँ उहाँले पनि हेर्नुभयो मैले मुसुक्क हाँसेँ उहाँले झन् ठुलो मुसुक्कले हाँस्नुभयो होइन अनि 4वटा दिन्न मलाई भनेर भने कि मैले माथि राखेको 4वटा होइन 4वटा उहाँले दिनुभयो अफकोर्स पैसा दिएँ मैले अनि ल एकदम शुभ दिन है तपाईँलाई भनेर भने मैले उहाँले धन्यवाद भनेर भन्नुभयो होइन द्याट स्माइल
Priceless?
That made my day.
Yeah.
Right? Like the smile in the kids' faces. Matthew, the चितवन माथि होइन के ठाउँको नाम के गरी उपरदानगढीमा होइन त्यो हाँसो हो नि त होइन त्यो क्षणिक भरको हाँसो आइएम स्योर मेक्स यु ह्याप्पी राइट द्याट इन्स्टेन्ट
त्यो हाँसो होइन के सञ्जय दाइ त्यो खुसी हो देयर इज अ डिफरेन्स हाँस्ने र खुसी हुनुमा एकदमै ठुलो डिफरेन्स छ एन्ड द्याट्स वाट दिस पर्पस हेज गिभन मी इन लाइफ मान्छेलाई हँसाउनु त के नै छ र कमेडी मुभी बनाइदिए पनि हुन्छ तर खुसी बनाउनु द्याट इज यर च्यालेन्ज एज अ पर्सन एन्ड आई टुक द्याट अप एज अ मिस नेपाल के द्याट आई क्यान प्राउडली लिभ विथ मी
सो त्यो बिहानको त्यो हाँसो र त्यहाँको त्यो खुसी त्यो दुइटै चाहियो नि त होइन त
हजुरको केरा बेच्ने दाइ पनि खुसी नै हुनुभएको हो न उहाँको त बोनी भएको होला होइन उहाँले त्यो पैसाले अब म बिस्किट र चिया खान्छु भनेर सोच्नु भएको होला उहाँको त्यो हाँसो मात्रै होइन कि द्याट्स just pure happiness. That's not laughter, that's happiness. And there's this thin line of difference between laughter and happiness that we as humans should always learn how to code around. There are moments for each. They're both too precious. They're both those elements that make life worth living. But that's where the purpose of giving and taking comes in. Give happiness, take laughter. Be selfish about your laughter, but don't be selfish about happiness. Happiness is much better when shared.
Do you get to share your happiness with everybody? Honestly? Do you share it?
Not everybody is happy because you are happy on yourself neither. That's when selflessness comes back. Mancheko आफ्नै selfless thoughts हुन्छ हैन selfish wants हुन्छ हैन
agendas हुन्छ
agendas and so if you say it I know so if it matches with others' happiness and others' agendas then you're a khatra person सबैलाई satisfy गर्यो भने you're a khatra person but if you're just making progress for yourself that happiness is rather personal.
What kind of happiness do you want right now in your life?
I want big happiness. I'm approaching to a big stage. I'm focusing towards my performance as a candidate for Miss World. Your happiness ko kura garda the world is such a broken place to live in, don't you think so? I think we're more broken than yesterday. We'll be more broken tomorrow too. War by that so. They're going floods. People are people are losing houses, they're losing lives. All because of land. I know. So when these things happen, it's just sad because can't we just sit down and discuss upon something because at the end of the day, if you're making compromises for peace is never a compromise. Peace is always the end goal. it is never compromise. It is always the result. It is always something we need to seek towards as a global citizen today. We talk about being revolutionary global citizens, होइन आज Miss World मा जाँदाखेरि मेरो only point of happiness will come by when I achieve an agenda where I make sense coming from Nepal as a peaceful citizen. Okay? हामी बुद्धको बारेमा कुरा गर्छौँ. We talk about huge mountains. But what do these things say? These things say that even amidst all the noises, amidst all the crowds, when you stand in the majestic mountain, when you look at that, you're this small. Your problems are this small. I know. When you're thinking and talking Buddha, you're talking about peace, neither. So as a representative of country that retains such sanctity, such global thought that everyone needs to listen to, if me as a participant in Miss World can go and talk about these things and can maybe sense one person thinking the thoughts that I'm trying to imply, then I'm happy. That's where my happiness will come by.
One person's thought process, I know. That's all it matters, right? If you go ahead and put in a spark in one person's life and that person
difference पनि बनाउनु परेन. You might only just push them to think. I can't force people to think the way that I think. But I can also just spark a conversation when they can actually stimulate a thought in them for even 1 second. That might maybe change their another decision for the next day. That is all I want. That is my happiness today. And that is the same thing that we're taking for introduction this year. You know, we make introduction videos too.
Go for it. Elaborate it to everybody.
Okay, so हाम्रो चाहिँ introduction video 2018 देखि, it has been one of the biggest videos that we release when we leave for Miss World. I know. They've set a precedent, they've set a tone, but introduction माग्दाखेरि चाहिँ it should make sense how you are as a contestant, your personal profession, your personal background, your personal stories, that should reflect. And Nepalko बारेमा केही लानुपर्छ, हैन? You and your country. Those are two things that you talk in your introduction. Yeah.
Simple.
In your introduction. Because that's the plain two things you are as a participant in Miss World. Ani Obin is making my Miss World's video.
I love that guy. Pick up my calls. Show up.
He shows up, but
I've asked him
depends
to come
on the
with his team.
Anyways, so we sat down, हैन? अनि यो कुरा छ, यो theme छ भनेर हामीले कुरा गर्यौं. About Nepal as a global country, what can we talk about? We were talking about these things, and Obin, you know, he caught up. He made 2018's introduction video. Then he hasn't made any. Beauty with Purpose पनि बनाएको छैन के. Then he said, it's more a challenge for me than you. तिम्रो the first time introduction video निस्किरहेछ, मैले I'm making it the second time. The first time was a massive hit. It's not about being a hit this time. It's about what I do with the platform again. So, you know, he sat me down and what he said was, introduction ko कुरा आउँदाखेरि चाहिँ 2018 मा, when they released the video, all of Nepal watched it. It was 1 million in few hours. All of Nepal watched it, I know. अहिले आउँदाखेरि it should make sense to the world to watch it. Miss World ko video and Miss Nepal ko video haina, म Miss Nepal मा compete गर्न लाएन नि त यो video लिएर. यो introduction ले world arena मा संसारले कसरी यो Miss Nepal को video चाहिँ के रहेछ भनेर किन हेरोस् त, because we're competing in Miss World. It should make sense as a global representative of a candidate for the world stage. So त्यो हुनुलाई चाहिँ what cashes on to you, not in a money manner, but in a manner that the world should tap onto your video, that one video that you put out as Nepal. Why should people across the globe watch your video? We lift it down on peace. I know that. Does it not make sense?
And has the video been completed?
It's almost done.
When can we see it?
You'll see it on November 15th.
And make sure that we keep an eye out on November 15th.
That's so special. Who else can do things like that? अरू देशको अरू केही सेगमेन्ट्सहरू होला, फ्याक्टर्सहरू होला, तर हामी नेपालले चाहिँ संसारलाई के सिकाउन सक्छौँ त? आजसम्म के सिकाइरहेछौँ त, हैन? What can we talk about? Globally, we're a very small market, but intellectually, with history, we have cultures. We have years and years on us than other countries. I know. How can we take that forward? by making sure that we have one entity of sanctity with us, taking us forward to the end, that will also support me. That is the factor of peace, Kida.
And the video revolves around it?
Yes, we're carrying the theme around it. It's not on your face. I've given you the theme.
Subtle.
It's subtly there. It's about our country. It's about me. It's about your candidate, but it's about peace at the end.
Ex, do me a favor. Obinle बनाएको त्यो अगाडिको video. Open all the videos that Priyanka sent us.
Oh my God, Abin is going to kill us.
No, he's
That
not.
is one of his rawest of works.
No, he's not going to kill us. Not yet. You didn't kill me in Ladakh. मैले भनेको छैन है यो Abin
Dare venture वाला?
Dare venture मा Abin traveled with us. Abin and the entire team traveled with us. ओहो यति मेहनत गरेको थियो त्यो 2-3वटा उसले मलाई एक दुईवटा सिकाए पनि थियो कि आई क्यारिड अ स्मल क्यामेरा के होइन अन्त त्यसले मलाई एक दुईवटा सर्ट्सहरू सिकाए पनि एक दुईवटा धेरै सर्ट्सहरू सिकाए पनि थियो कि हो त्यो टपको त्यो के अरे यो भिडियो त यो त पहिला
इन्ट्रो भिडियो
आइसकेको छ प्ले लिस्ट यो देखाउनु मिल्छ
देखाउनु त मिल्छ बट मलाई मिल्यो हजुरलाई मिल्यो Abin is not happy with the work yet because this is
Sound
not
raw
his best.
video sound
raw video है
sound-
everybody watching this is
sound
a raw
देखायो
video
भने साउन्ड मिल्छ
sound हाल्ने
हाल्ने नि
Halnu, you won't get a copyright because we manufactured the sound for us. के भन्छ? What is the word for sounds and music?
फस्यो केटा भनिसक्यो तिम्रो मुख
Produced,
खोलिसक्यो,
होइन?
भनिसक्यो।
हजुर
We produced the sound for us. Sorry.
साउन्ड छ गो फ्रम द बिगिनिङ बडी जस्टिस गर न साउन्ड छ कि छैन यसमा
छ।
गजबै छ यार सो ब्युटिफुल
This is Roy, by the way.
Destiny follows those who dare to challenge it. In a world of uncertainties, I chose to take a leap of faith, believed in the power of dreams, and actively pursued to make that shred of
दिस इज माई फेभरेट सर्ट
my reality.
Without me?
दिस इज माई फेभरेट सर्ट भने
Okay. Oh, this one. Mine too.
However, winning, as seen, is not the end of the bargain. Heavy indeed is the head that wears the crown. In a world that spins madly round, I strive to endure, not fade. I strive to expand, not shrink. I strive to become light. I strive to become love. Like the woman who raised me, I am fearless but kind. I stand my ground and speak my mind. I carry within me the
Surkhet,
spirit
है ना?
and
Yeah,
strength,
Surkhet.
the love and light that the women of the world embody.
Oh, this is something else.
And this is not even the best of the clips that we have.
त्यो लास्टको कुन ठाउँमा अरे
Banepa, Panauti.
पनौतीमा हो त्यो
पनौती.
पनौतीको हो त्यो अनि गजबै छ पाटनमा पनि आई गेस थिङ्क यु फिल्मिङ एज वेल
Patanma, we were thinking, but things didn't align, so we could not.
Are you filming anywhere around Lalitpur?
No.
Not yet, होइन? Maybe down the road, if you do anything in Lalitpur, mark my words, we've got such fantastic places here as well, होइन? मैले किन यो कुरा भनेर भन्दाखेरि चाहिँ आज बिहान भर्खर लामो कन्भर्सेसन भएको थियो कि होइन हाम्रो मेयर साहबसँग मेयर चिरीबाबु दाइ नै भन्छु म दाजु नै भन्ने गरेको छ हामीले होइन इफ एम नट मिस्टेकन हो चिरीबाबु दाजुसँग चाहिँ बिहान कुराकानी भएको थियो अनि पाटन अस्ति 4 दिन अगाडि जसो म र मेरो भाइ चाहिँ हामी पाटन अस्पतालमा थियौँ होइन एउटा सानो कामले अनि पाटन अस्पतालबाट हिँड्दै चाहिँ पाटन दरबार स्क्वायर गएको थियौँ कि होइन इफ यु एभर गेट टाइम होइन जस्ट डु द्याट वान वक
I
हुन्छ
do
नि
that all the time.
यु डु द्याट राइट
Yeah.
त्यो बजार छ त्यहाँ दाजुभाइ दिदीबहिनीहरूले कति सामानहरू बेच्नुहुन्छ होइन त्यो बजार हुँदै हामी चाहिँ त्यो पास अन हुँदै पाटन दरबार स्क्वायर गएको थियौँ होइन त्यो कस्तो छ भने हाम्रो कल्चर यति रिच छ हुन्छ नि होइन आजको दिनमा हामी जहाँ छौँ र त्यो इतिहासै त्यही त्यो
Line of walk.
लाइन अफ वकमै छ कि बुझ्यो नि मैले भन्न खोजेको कुरा होइन इट्स सो अमेजिङ
Culture and history, Dada, in my thoughts and opinions, it's not something to be preserved. It's something to be practiced each day.
Shared.
I know. त्यो हुँदाखेरि चाहिँ पाटन र I think a lot of streets in Bhaktapur also see the same kind of mornings that you're talking about. That's through the
Basantapur, for instance. So.
Basantapur too, for instance. I know there's so many pocket places that we're yet to discover that actually give away the sense of yesterday that we had, still retains the new factors of tomorrow that we will step into, not losing the factors that we were building out of yesterday. Okay? So पाटन बसन्तपुरको कुरा आउँदाखेरि चाहिँ ठ्याक्कै अब हजुरले पाटनमा खिच्छौ कि खिच्दैन सोधिहाल्नु भयो हामीले मूलचोकमा खोज्न एकदमै ट्राई गर्यो कि बट यु कान्ट टेक भिडियो shots of anything inside, so introductionको लागि चाहिँ अलिक मिलेन. We can't just paste pictures नि त. त्यही भएर अब historical place भएर पनि they want to preserve certain aspects of मूलचोक, त्यही भएर मूलचोक चाहिँ मिलेन.
No, not trying to put you on the spot. No. Obviously, आज बिहान भर्खर मैले मेरो साथीले
No, I
कारण
understand.
होला हैन त्यो
But I
फ्रेश
just-
छ के मेरो माइन्डमा हुन्छ नि हैन. No, of course. You and Obin and the entire team are going to be doing thousands of things.
Oh my God, am I fidgeting too much?
Keep what I'm the one fidgety one here.
Oh, no.
Abhi, you have no idea. I'm like a super fidgety person, हैन. You got to be aware with the current affairs पनि हैन त्यो हुन्छ नि. I'm sure you're aware with so many different things going on every single day हुन्छ नि. I mean within the country, outside the country as well हैन. I want to talk about this हैन. अब यो आजको कुरा नै भयो हैन. हिजो राति चाहिँ मैले इन्स्टाग्राममा पोस्ट पनि गरेको थिएँ एक्स मेरो इन्स्टाग्राम खोला त अनि आई जस्ट वान्ट टु सिन्स वेयर टकिङ हैन अनि इफ पोसिबल रिलिज दिस टुडे इटसेल्फ है एक्स मिल्छ भने हैन ओपन माई इन्स्टाग्राम यो चाहिँ एकदम ह्याट्स अफ टु द एन्टायर टिम आई जस्ट वान्ट टु थ्याङ्क एभ्रीबडी एन्ड सिन्स यु आर हियर एज वेल इन दिस मोमेन्ट सिन्स वी आर गोना ट्राई टु रिलिज दिस टुडे
As he is opening, so I used practiced as the operating word earlier because
what practice
cultural tradition ko kurama, because if we don't get in sync, in touch with these every day, they start dying down. This okay, like language, for instance. हैन नेवारी भाषा हैन घरमा कोही बोल्दैन म पनि बोल्दिन मेरो बच्चाहरूले बोल्दैन के अब हैन बट इफ आई स्पीक they will recognize few words and that will pass down to another generation okay so practicing it's important too.
मलाई सिक्नु मन छ थाहा छ यो तिमी कस्तो गजब कुरा अरे आज बिहान भर्खरको कुरा हो हैन होल्ड दिस एक्स होल्ड दिस है आज बिहान म अनि मेरो दुईजना साथीहरू हामी मेरो साथीले भेट्न गएको थियौँ हैन यो मिटिङको लागि हैन अनि त्यसपछि कस्तो इन्ट्रेस्टिङ मेरो साथीले मलाई सोध्नु भएको थियो कि हैन तिमीले बुझ्छौ भनेर हैन मैले अलि भनेर भनेको थिएँ कि हैन अनि मैले त्यतिखेर मेरो दिमागमा आएको थियो कि हैन मेरो फेभरेट खानै समय बजी सेट मेरो फेभरेट हो हैन त्यो नोबडी क्यान टेक इट अवे फ्रम मी हैन अलिकति टाइम निकालेर यही पडकास्टमा धेरैचोटि कुरा भएको छ कि चाइनिज सिक्नु मन छ यो त्यो भन्ने कुरा भएको थियो आज बिहान त्यो मेरो साथीले सोधिसकेपछि अनि आफूले पनि भर्खर कुरा गरिसकेपछि हैन probably थाहा छ probably मैले जिन्दगीमा समय पाएँ भने चाहिँ मैले आफ्नै भाषाहरू चाहिँ सिक्नु मन छ
त्यही त it needs to be practiced के preservation comes in when things die down and needs to be put in a museum के there are the things that we see on the streets of local vendors in Patan and Bhaktapur is not something that we need to sanction and maybe put it across like glass bars ni ta it's something that we need to push forward to generations to follow.
Nepal भाषा सिक्नु है X maybe है we should definitely.
So if you're learning Nepali, I'm in the class too.
Let's do it together.
Done.
This is something that we're going to do together. Okay. यो हिजो मैले यो राति तस्बिर देखाएको थिएँ यो हैन अनि यो तस्बिर देखिसकेपछि अफकोर्स यो रातिको कुरा हो मैले राति पोस्ट गरेको थिएँ हैन मिनिस्ट्री अफ फरेन अफेयर्स अलिकति माथि हो त मिनिस्टर अफ फरेन अफेयर्स अलिकति माथि गरेर त एक्समा सबैजनालाई कोलाई थ्याङ्क गरेको थिएँ मैले एनपी साउथ सरदेखि लिएर प्रधानमन्त्री प्रचण्ड नेपाल एयरलाइन्स हैन यो कहाँ गयो नेपाल एयरलाइन्सको जहाजै छ हामीसँग यता कता हैन अनि त्यसपछि फरेन Secretary Vadraj Paudel and team, everybody came together and made this happen. हैन राम्रो काम गरेको बेलामा राम्रो काम गरेको भन्नुपर्छ के हैन त्यो बडो जरुरी छ हैन एक्स जुन भए पनि एउटा अनलाइन न्यूज साइट खोला त जुन भए पनि आजको अहिलेको ताजा हेर्नु त ओपन एनी न्यूज साइट त बाबु एनी न्यूज साइट गो ब्याक ओपन एनिथिङ अनलाइन खोले पनि भयो सेतो इकान्तिपुर जुन गर्यो नि अनलाइन गर न कसको एड छ यो बेनेलीको अलि तल जाऊ त के भइरहेछ गोडाउन बाबु गोडाउन अझ गोडाउन हिजो रातिको सिंहदरबार विश्वकप सरी पुऱ्यो इन द स्पट है अझ तल जाऊ त भए कतिजना साथीहरू आउनु भएको थियो ठ्याक्कै हेर्नु मन लाग्यो कि मलाई
275 it's somewhere that round
okay x you doing it too much अलि माथि जाऊ त बाबु कोही भन्दै सायद अझ माथि कहाँ छ यो न्युज त सी दिस इज द थिङ के होइन हिजो रातिदेखि बिहानदेखि अहिलेसम्ममा हाम्रो यति धेरै न्युज इकान्तिपुर गरेर त यसमा त्यो ठ्याक्कै त्यो स्पटमा भेटिएन यति धेरै न्युज आइसक्यो कि होइन ओके थप 200 नेपालीले दिए निवेदन रे होइन अनि त्यसपछि ल कतिजना मलाई ठ्याक्कै हेर्नु मात्रै कतिजना आउनुभएछ यो जहाजमा
You want the
भनेर होइन?
numbers,
Yeah, I
होइन?
kind of want the numbers.
How many? How many?
200 कति पढाएको थियो रे आफूले हेर ल यति बिहानदेखि अहिलेसम्ममा यति धेरै न्युज आइसक्यो कि
It's around the ballpark of 250 or 270.
छैन लाइक somewhere lost. Search for it.
Why
find
don't
it.
you just type that out? X?
Oh, that's a good one. Oh, X. Type that out.
Yeah.
Let's put
How
you in
many?
the spot, goddammit.
मलाई अलि अघि manufactured भन्दाखेरि manufactured भन्दै थियो नि. Even my judges in Miss Nepal didn't judge me that hard होला के.
Bruh, you're in the spot today.
254.
I'm with you on this.
Yeah.
200 and got
Yeah, so 254.
254. You taught both of us. Good. Fantastic. I've got something else that I want to talk to you, Eddie.
Okay.
Welcome to the Himalayat. If you allow our ads. Allow the ads, no? Himalayat time say. Allow the ads. Press on that, Babu. Press on that.
I'll give them some money.
Allow that.
Press on it.
Look. Man, you know.
254 नेपाली.
254, right? होइन सो यो प्रोएक्टिभनेस हो नि त यो इन्स्टेन्टली भयो नि त होइन सो कति थोकहरू इन्स्टेन्टली गर्दाखेरि पनि यु हेभ टु सपोर्ट राइट लाइक वी आर टकिङ अबाउट वाट यु एन्ड द एन्टायर टिम वर्क अन हुन्छ नि होइन त्यो स्पेसिफिक ठाउँमा बत्ती पुर्याउनुको लागि होइन राम्रो काम गरेको बेलामा एकदम राम्रो भयो भन्नु चाहिँ पर्छ कि हाम्रोमा चाहिँ सरी गरियो हाम्रोमा चाहिँ राम्रो गरेकोलाई पनि अब नभनिदिने होइन जतिखेर पनि कन्स्टेन्ट क्रिटिसिजम होइन जतिखेर पनि आलोचना मात्र गर्नलाई चाहिँ त्यो त बनेको होइन नि त हामी
Validation, yes, is very important, but when factors like geopolitics come in, I applaud the government and their effect and effort that they put into bringing our stranded Nepalese back is because उहाँलाई ल्याउने मात्रै एउटा काम थिएन नि त सेफली ल्याउने काम थियो नि त war भइरहेछ नि त त्यो ठाउँमा त the prime minister there has said with his own speech in mouth that we're at war. So when you put people in that spot, especially our political powers at that spot, it's not just about bringing people back, it's bringing them back safely, Nita. It's more about just getting them on the plane. It's about how they get on the plane. And if their journey as that moment, from the moment they were in the bunkers to the flight, and from the flight to Nepal, if that trauma was sanctified, if that trauma was realized by our government, then they have taken a step forward, and we need to applaud that effort.
एक्ज्याक्टली होइन अनि यो आलोचना भनेको त्यो आफ्नो ठाउँमा छ राम्रो काम गरे बेलामा लाइक यु सेड हुन्छ नि होइन त्यो पोजिटिभनेस पनि देखाउनुपर्छ होइन
But again, we should not forget there are more people stranded.
Of course, होइन 10 people passed away too होइन
Very unfortunate, but I hope the people who are stranded do not lose their lives. There's nothing we can talk about as two citizens sitting here sipping on coffee. We're not even making decisions. We're not doing anything other than having conversations and putting things out, you know. But what we do not, as citizens, forget is people are still there. We need to keep our constant prayers going out. We need to keep our concerns going out so that people at power hear our thoughts, know that we're thinking of the people there, and bring those people back as well.
एक्ज्याक्टली होइन यही टपिकमा बस्दाखेरि हाउ हेभ यु ह्यान्डल क्रिटिसिजम आलोचनाहरू आछन् अहिलेसम्म
मलाई आछ नि
के कुरामा धेरै आछन्
So firstly, when I won Miss Nepal, I probably won with few credits here and there. Some merits were there, some demerits were there. But I was winning with people who did pageantry before me. होइन त्यो pageantry गर्ने बित्तिकै उहाँहरूलाई चाहिँ एउटा स्टेप अहेड के हुन्छ भने मिडियासँग फ्रेन्डली हुन्छ when you put shoot actually cameras at us like that, they're better equipped with what to say, where to say, and how to say.
एक्सपिरियन्स भइसक्यो हुन्छ
Experience. And so experience is the biggest tool, biggest weapon for you to move ahead in life. Books भन्दा heavy हुन्छ नि त experience. I didn't have that. So experience नहुँदाखेरि चाहिँ when you stand with people with experiences, you look like a minor. When you look like a minor, मान्छेहरू, they're so frustrated at home at times. I'm not even complaining about things like that because I put myself in a position where people can analyze my state of thoughts and minds and what I say. But they come at you saying you weren't enough. I know. What is worse than a person looking back and saying, like, you are not enough? You think you're not enough. Plus, you come at a stage of vulnerability when you're in an atmosphere like that, you start thinking it too. So when that happens, like I keep saying, mental stability is too important because I might go down deep into a hole thinking I'm never going to be enough, or I can get back. I can get back up stronger in my feet and think I'm going to be more than enough for these guys to look at me. And I took the latter.
Good for you. Yeah, and that's why we're sitting here right now. हुन्छ नि हैन त्यो उसले नै कन्ज्युम गरे त्यो डार्क साइडले नै कन्ज्युम गरे भए त अर्कै भइसक्थ्यो नि तर
So
फेरि
there was a dark side.
हामी पो त अलिअलि निस्किन सक्यौँ त हैन तर कतिजना साथीहरू त त्यही डार्क साइडमै हुनुहुन्छ होला यो समयमा पनि हैन लाइक यु जस्ट सेड देयर वाज अ डार्क साइड I'm sure
There was, but again, I have to be clear about the fact that mental health issue is a big topic of discussion that we're discussing today. But discussions aren't enough because only a person who's had it knows what goes through you. We can't sit and talk about things like that. So, more depressed, more trauma, but I had a sense of insecurity in me that was developed. Me as a person, because of my education, because of my background, was pretty confident from very early on in life. Okay? So I had the feet to get back on and the mental security to think and know that I'll be more than enough, like I said earlier. But some people don't have that time to relapse on things and thoughts and what they think about and come back stronger. So that, again, I cannot connect. Because I cannot talk about experiences that I did not have. Their experiences will be completely different. I can advocate for it, but I can't give my personal stories because they don't sum up enough to be taken as sources of inspirations for people like such. I need to clarify that much.
मद्दत लिन सक्नुपर्छ हैन त्यो मद्दत लिन चाहिँ त्यो हात चाहिँ त्यो यस्तै छ कि यसमा पनि आएर
It's very difficult to seek for help नि सञ्जय दाइ म घर जाँदाखेरि मेरो इन्स्टाग्राममा कति नाना थरी कमेन्ट्स हुन्छ हैन
हरेक दिन
आउँथ्यो कि ठ्याक्कै मिस नेपाल जित्ने बित्तिकै देन मोर देन नाउ अहिले चाहिँ धेरै पोजिटिभ हुन्छ होला त्यति बेला त इट्स अल haywire comments, all sorts of comments, some good, more bad, You don't want to sit and discuss with your family neither. That's probably the same thing that happens with people who are thinking these thoughts. Probably, I cannot talk about it confidently because I don't know what goes in their heads and minds. I cannot say this happens. This is what happens. I cannot say that. But what I can say is probably this is what happens because I can only empathize. I've had experiences like that in smaller scales. So I don't want to sit and discuss that with my family because one, it affects them. Secondly, I don't want to think about them. Thirdly, when I go back, that is the only thought I think neither. So sharing and seeking help is also one of, like you said, the biggest ask, the biggest ointment that you can get for yourself when you're having these thoughts. But again, just to do that too, takes a big courage.
I know it takes a lot of courage, I know. That's why I'll give you an example, and that's one of the reasons why I'm talking about this openly. I always thought it was taboo, तर मैले के रियलाइज गरेँ भन्दाखेरि चाहिँ हो.
I don't think it's taboo.
No, I'm not talking about you. Okay. In general, कतिजना साथीहरूले मेन्टल हेल्थको बारेमा कुरा गर्नै चाहदैन. Not trying to say that you're talking about it, हैन?
Not putting you on the spot.
It's okay. Put me in the spot. I'm used to it. मान्छेहरूले कुरा गर्न चाहँदैनन् हैन कतिजना साथीहरूले हैन कोभिडले गर्दा कोभिड पछि चाहिँ हो अलिकति सहज चाहिँ भएको छ हैन यहाँ आएर कतिजना डाक्टर साहबहरूसँग पनि बसेर हामीले मेन्टल हेल्थको बारेमा कुराकानी गरेका छौँ हैन अस्तिको दिनमा के भयो भने एकजना साथी आउनु भएको थियो राइट हियर अन द पडकास्ट वी सिटिङ एन्ड टकिङ उहाँले क्लियरली भन्नुभयो कि सधैँ त्यो डाक्टर साहब चिनाइदिनुहोस् न मलाई भनेर भन्नुभयो कि अन द पडकास्ट इटसेल्फ उहाँले डाक्टर साहबलाई मलाई पनि चिनाइदिनु ल भनेर भन्नुभयो होइन एक्स रिमेम्बर एकजना साथी आउनुभएको थियो सिङ्गर आउनुभएको थियो उर्गेन डन आउनुभएको थियो उर्गेन होइन उर्गेन आएको बेलामा होइन त्यही भनिसकेपछि इन्स्टेन्टली यहीँ गएँ मैले
हजुर
हो होइन इन्स्टेन्टली मैले यहीँ गएँ डाक्टर साहबलाई टेक्स्ट गरेर चाहिँ ट्राई टु गेट देम टुगेदर होइन उहाँको त्यो करेज होइन कि होइन आर्ट हुन्छ नि होइन मलाई भेटाइदिनुहोस् न भनेर भन्नु नै होइन त्यो ठुलो कुरा हो क्या you getting what I'm trying to say?
Of course, that's exactly what I'm saying too.
होइन यति कन्भर्सेसन गर्न सक्नु पनि त्यो नै ठुलो कुरा भइसक्यो क्या हुन्छ नि अब आउने भनौँ न दशक 2 दशकमा चाहिँ we would probably be talking about it more. I'll also give you another example. कस्तो अचम्मको कुरा भयो कि यो एउटा सिनेमा चाहिँ म खासै मान्छेले सिनेमा अब यो हेर्नु
Refer
त्यो हेर्नु
गर्ने।
रिफर गर्ने खाले मान्छे चाहिँ होइन म होइन आई लाइक एक्सन मुभिज एन्ड थ्रिलर मुभिज होइन सकेँ म होइन त्यतिमै मलाई चित्त बुझ्छ होइन आई डोन्ट नो व्हाट काइन्ड अफ सिनेमा डु यु लाइक
I watch all kinds.
सबै
Yeah.
ए हो र
Oh, I watch all kinds. फेरि मेरो favorite color पनि छैन है. I love all colors.
ए हो र
So I'm like that. I'm like water, like I said.
ढुक्क हुन्छ
जहाँ
नि
पनि
होइन?
flow गरिदिने.
जसरी गए पनि मैले त्यो कहाँबाट यो सिनेमा त्यो यतिकै त्यो म खासै त्यति साह्रो समय पनि हुन्न मसँग होइन तर अस्ति इफ आई शुड से दिस or not होइन सो आई हेड इस्युज विथ माई ब्याक के
Okay.
कतिजना साथीहरूले देख्नु भएको छ होला होइन यहाँ मोस्ट
Better now?
मैले ए बेटर नाउ टेप लगाइरहेको हुन्छ कि होइन प्रियङ्का पुट लट टेप हियर होइन यहाँ टाँसेको यहाँ कतिजनाले देख्नुहुन्छ होला होइन टेप टाँसिरहेको हुन्छु मैले अनि दुई दिन जस्तो आई टुक रेस्ट अलिकति होइन अनि त्यो समयमा चाहिँ सिनेमा हेरेँ मैले होइन OMG 2 भन्ने सिनेमा रहेछ कि यो
Oh, I've watched that.
OMG 2 नै हेरिसके हो हेरे हो
The recent one.
द रिसेन्ट वान होइन यसमा चाहिँ पङ्कज त्रिपाठी होइन पङ्कज त्रिपाठी मलाई बडो एकदम गजब लाग्छ होइन यो व्यक्तिको एक्टिङ होइन अनि मैले के रहेछ त पङ्कज त्रिपाठी देखेपछि मैले हेरौँ भनेर होइन अक्षय कुमार आफ्नो ठाउँमा छन् होइन यसो हेरेँ मैले हेर्दै गएँ इन्ट्रेस्टिङ लाग्दै गयो कि भारत जस्तो ठाउँमा सिनेमा बनाएको छ जुन सिनेमाले मास्टरबेसनको बारेमा कुराकानी गर्छ होइन स्कुल सिस्टममा चाहिँ सेक्स एडुकेसनलाई चाहिँ कसरी चाहिँ राख्ने भन्ने कुरा गर्यो कि यो सिनेमाले होइन त्यो सिनेमा एन्टरटेनमेन्ट थियो सँगसँगै एडुकेटिभ पनि थियो कि
Yes.
होइन हो त्यो सिनेमा म सबैलाई रेकमेन्ड गर्छु हुन्छ नि मलाई बडो इन्ट्रेस्टिङ लाग्यो त्यो सिनेमा हुन्छ नि
You know what worked for the cinema?
प्लिज
They didn't talk about education and took an older actor for it. Okay? They've delved into the main sphere where they have a younger actor working towards the plot of the movie that they're trying to relay. Hence, it works.
होइन exactly right so on today's date cinema even like you mentioned earlier this podcast itself maybe might be inspiration for somebody down the road right त्यो सिनेमाले गर्दा maybe somebody is going to get inspired in the education ministry somewhere and then try to go ahead and implement a lot of changes हुन्छ नि होइन त्यो देशमा होइन अब हाम्रोमा बसेको सिनेमाहरूले हाम्रो देशमा कति धेरै इन्फ्लुएन्स गर्छन् होला होइन अरू कन्भर्सेसन्सले इन्फ्लुएन्स गर्छन् होला होइन एज अ हाम्रो यही कन्भर्सेसनले मेबी कोही न कोही इन्फ्लुएन्स भइरहेको होला फर द बेटर है फेरि
Just one person is enough.
होइन त
Ani.
just one person trying to make that difference is going to be
Just a minute of sense for one person is enough for me, ke Sanjay Dai. That's what I've realized. You can't appeal to everybody as a public person. You cannot make everyone happy like everybody says all the time. But you as a public figure will always seek for validation for the work that you do. And that validation does not come in huge masses. It does not come in numbers. It does not come in thousands and lakhs. It comes in one person at a time.
Journalism and English literature भने होइन if I'm not mistaken
Yes.
that's what you specialized in
Oh, how
होइन?
do you know?
Do you want to get back to it down the road
Not maybe. No, maybe not. Maybe not.
किनभने you went to study business नि त होइन study भनेपछि you kind of wanted to dive into business
So,
नि होइन
हाम्रो चाहिँ as a second generation of a business family, I always knew I had a backing to rely upon. त्यही भएर with education, I've always taken chances. Risk चाहिँ मैले मिस नेपाल भन्दा पनि एजुकेसनमा लिएको हो कि मैले 9 र 10 IT पढाएँ हो 11 र 12 बिजनेस मार्केटिङ पढाएँ हो ब्याचलर्समा जर्नलिजम र इङ्ग्लिस मेजर पढाएँ हो कि नो रिलेटेबिलिटी इन 3 सब्जेक्ट्स एट अल भोलि गएर भने म साइन्स लिइदिन्छु होइन सो आई क्यान अलवेज रिलाइ ब्याक बिकज इन बिजनेस you don't need books to teach you how to move forward in life. You don't need plus, minus, you don't need debit, credit. You need your head that works, I know? So for that to happen, you need to have knowledge of every sphere of life. And how do you get that? Through education. Why education? Because you meet different people when you're studying in certain schools. That's why people want to send students, their children, in good institution so that they make good connections, they make good networks, they make good they have good funding and backing to work upon in aspects of knowledge when they're doing something in life. That's it. Okay. That's where I took risk. That's how I have sailed through life. त्यही भएर चाहिँ जर्नलिजम र इङ्ग्लिस लिटरेचरलाई मैले पछि गएर नपढे पनि it will always take me forward in life. I don't have to
मद्दत
look
जहिले पनि गर्छ।
back. Yeah, I don't have to look back to take that support. I'll always look forward with the support of these two grounds that I've laid out for myself.
एमआइएसमा पढ्दाखेरि पनि थट यस्तै थियो
Me, MS, that was very small.
कहाँ चेन्ज भयो त्यसो जेभियरमा चेन्ज भयो कि दार्जिलिङ पुगेर चेन्ज भयो त
दुबईमा भएन
भएन?
आई थिङ्क दुबईमा भएन दुबईले गर्दा भयो पनि कि
पनि है।
दिस थट इज एन अमालगमेसन अफ एभ्री पर्सन आइभ मेथ इन लाइफ हजुरले मलाई आज एउटा कुरा गर्नुहुन्छ भोलि गएर आई थिङ्क सर्टन थिङ्स इन यर पर्सपेक्टिभ टु सो द पर्सन आई हेभ बिकम टुडे इज not majorly perspective of every person, but it comes from experiences. It stems out of experiences of each person I've met. Okay? So I'm an amalgamation of every person I've met. Tara, what works for me as a person is I can differentiate from what's right and wrong. That's when upbringing comes into. I know.
From a very young age?
From a very young age, I can tell that much.
सही र गलत?
सही र गलत अरूको लागि ठिक भए पनि नभएको पनि आफ्नो लागि चाहिँ इट सुड मेक सेन्स त्यो एउटा ब्ल्याक एन्ड व्हाइट चाहिँ छ मेरो दिमागमा मान्छेहरूको राम्रो पाटो देख्दाखेरि हेरेर हाँसेर या अडमायर मात्रै गर्ने होइन कि त्यो राम्रो कुराहरूलाई इम्पार्ट पनि गर्ने हो कि आफ्नो पर्सनालिटीमा नट सेइङ यु सुड चेन्ज कलर्स यु सुड बिकम अ कमेडियन बट यु सुड बिकम सम वान हु क्यान रिटेन गुड capabilities of others because us as humans have so many personalities in us where all good things in life can fit in. You don't have to be one person. You don't have to think one thought. You don't have to have one righteous belief. You can think all kind of thoughts and you can still be a good person in life.
But there are a lot of comedians around us, aren't there?
त्यही त हो नि त्यो चाहिँ फेक भयो कि
छन् नि त होइन छन् नि त कमेडियनले त कमेडियन होस् भन्नु पर्यो नि भन्ने आँट
त्यो भन्ने त्यो देखेर भन्ने क्यापेसिटी चाहिँ ममा छ भन्नु
त्यही भन्न लाग्थ्यो कि होइन त्यो देखिसकेपछि त
त्यो खतरा हो कि ए यो चाहिँ कमेडियन हो भन्ने एस्पेक्ट चाहिँ खतरा हो
सो त्यो राइट एन्ड रङ छुटाउन सक्छ होइन फ्रम अ भेरी यङ एज होइन because that's something that takes time रहेछ के त्यो कमेडियन छुटाउन होइन कतिजना साथीहरू त्यो कमेडियन अथवा त्यो गिरगिटहरू हुन्छ नि होइन त्यो रङ फेर्ने मान्छेहरू छुटाउन गाह्रो पर्छ नि मान्छेलाई
गिरगिटे कमेडियनले माय गॉड द vocab सञ्जय भाइ
गिरगिटै भन्छ के अरे
Who's hurt you in life?
God damn it, you have no idea. I generally tell young people, okay, this, that try to differentiate between the person who is actually giving you right advice or actually giving you advice or somebody who is trying to go out and just take advantage of you. Right?
Us as humans, we shouldn't be afraid of animals. अब के परिआयो भने कसरी नै आउँछ र हैन we shouldn't be afraid of wars. We should be afraid of wars because wars are done by people neither. So you need to be clear of your surrounding because humans are scarier to human than any animal.
Are you afraid of any animal?
No, I like all animals. Of course, reptiles scare the shit out of everybody, but that's for one reason that everybody knows. But I'm pro-friendly, pro-animals.
Keep your friends close. Keep your
enemies closest.
Animals close.
Enemies closest, sorry.
I like it. अस्ति हाम्रो यहाँ स्टुडियोमा बडो डिबेट परिरहेछ कि होइन के डिबेट परिरहेछ भने डिबेटै नभन्नु यसलाई कन्भर्सेसन होइन विगतको एक हप्ताभरि हाम्रो यो कन्भर्सेसन बडो ठुलो कन्भर्सेसन भइरहेछ कि होइन we're moving into a new building होइन not this होइन the studio is going to stay the same but we are definitely moving into
the 3-minute away one.
Oh, thanks. Thanks for letting everybody know होइन so we're planning a few different moves होइन अनि अब नयाँ ठाउँमा एउटा के अरे पप्पी ल्याउने भन्ने कुरा भएको छ होइन
Who's going to look after him?
हो त्यही हिम होइन त्यही कन्भर्सेसन चलिरहेछ होइन अनि त्यसपछि बडो ठुलो डिबेट परिरहेछ कि होइन अब पप्पी ल्याउने हो कि होइन अब के अरे बिरालो ल्याउने हो कि होइन अब मोस्ट प्रब्ली विल एन्ड अप विथ के अरे जस्ट ह्याभिङ नथिङ होइन इच अदर होइन
If you want a pet around, but who is self-sufficient, it is a cat to go with.
You have a pet?
I've never had pets in my life.
Never?
Never.
Why?
Not one. But you know how funny life can get at times? I used to be scared of animals. कुकुर आयो पनि डर लाग्ने हुन्छ नि साथीको घरमा जाँदाखेरि बिरालो त छुट्टै जाओस् परै जाओस्. But that came what I've diagnosed myself with along the line, that came with distance. केही पोइन्ट अफ कनेक्सन नै थिएन, त्यही भएर म डराउनु पर्छ भनेर मेरो दिमागमा त्यसरी बस्यो कि पहिला कहिले कुकुर पालेन बिरालो पालेन, त्यही भएर डर लाग्दो छ भनेर दिमागमा आफै सेट भयो नि त. बट एज आई ग्रु अप people that I was around always had pets. त्यो हुँदै जाँदाखेरि चाहिँ I am friendliest with dogs today. I'm always around cats today. So everything comes with comfort, Rizal. And with comfort, it also comes with being around something for a longer period of time.
Yeah.
But if you want something that's self-sufficient, you have to go with cats. Because pets, they bring out a side in you that you don't even know, that is empathetic, that is kind, that is compassionate, that makes you think of a being beyond yourself. So pets are definitely important.
प्लस तिमीले भनिरहँदाखेरि मैले हाम्रो अगाडिको कन्भर्सेसन याद आयो कि होइन, जहाँ गएर चाहिँ आफूले आफूसँग कुरा गर्नुपर्छ होइन, एकदम माया गरेर होइन.
Yeah, they listen to you without judgments too, I know.
And you gotta, you know, plus you gotta tell yourself that pets are good. Pets are good. The dogs are not gonna bite me. The cat's not gonna.
तर जति good भयो पनि the pooping does not get good. That does not get good ever.
तिमी पुपिङ भन्ने शब्द ल्याइहाल्यो होइन. बिरालोको चाहिँ कस्तो डरलाग्दो हुँदो रहेछ भने क्याट पुप काइन्ड अफ हेज दिस भेरी स्पेसिफिक थिङ इन इट रहेछ होइन.
Yes, thank you.
जसले गर्दा चाहिँ हामीले त्यसलाई कन्ज्युम गर्यो भने अथवा हामीमा त्यो
Why would you consume its poop?
No, not exactly. Well, cats might just go ahead and poop anywhere, right? That poop might just end up in your food or somehow, होइन. Google this.
What?
Yeah, Google this. I know. There's this specific disease that's created in a cat's gut.
I know.
होइन, क्याटको चाहिँ पेटमा चाहिँ एउटा स्पेसिफिक खाले भाइरस हो कि खै के पो छ, ब्याक्टेरिया समथिङ लाइक द्याट होइन, इज क्रिएटेड इन अ क्याट्स गट रहेछ होइन. यसले गर्दा चाहिँ वी माइट गेट रियली अनवेल होइन. तर त्यो भन्दाखेरि नै अब बिरालै पाल्नु हुँदैन भन्ने होइन होइन.
You have to be careful. You have to be cautious. Come on, Sanjay, you can do more than letting your cat's poop get in your food.
I love cats. होइन, I love dogs too. होइन, if I had a choice, I would always go ahead and pick up dogs. होइन, go ahead and have a dog for myself. होइन, if you had a choice, what would you get?
I'd probably get a lion.
Whoa!
Okay, that's far-fetched. I'd get a dog too.
के रहेछ, I just don't want to go off track and tell people something that's not there in the world. होइन, you're a specific disease. भाइरस कि ब्याक्टेरिया के थियो?
हेरौँ न त.
Toxoplasmosis भन्ने हुँदो रहेछ होइन. Is an infection with a parasite होइन. Toxoplasma gondii. People often get the infection from eating undercooked meat. You can also get it from contact with cat feces. There you go. The parasite can pass to a baby during pregnancy too. Jesus. So, of course.
Oh, that makes sense because cats often go out and fetch mouses, any birds, you know.
Signs of toxoplasmosis.
The signs.
Yeah, press this. Symptoms: fever, swollen glands, muscle aches, and then if you Google it, then it's gonna end up in cancer.
Yeah, for sure. Everything ends up in cancer.
I don't know why, man. I don't know why. Anything that you Google,
because that's the scariest thing, and people want to infect the scary syndrome into everybody.
What's the scariest disease in the world? For me, like I'll stick with cancer. Because it's like the most fucked up thing that can ever happen to anybody. If science can ever create something, then it should create a cure for cancer.
I think so too.
I know, because that's like the worst thing that can ever happen to anybody. Because I've seen it with my own eyes. People who've had cancer, mark my words, it's something that, oh my God. Cancer चाहिँ कसैले पनि नलागोस् होइन, त्यो म बुझाउनै सक्दिनँ के हुन्छ नि त्यसको त्यो रिपरकसन्स के होइन. अनि परिवारलाई नै के फेरि त्यो कस्तो हुन्छ भने क्यान्सर एउटा व्यक्तिलाई लाग्यो भने त्यो व्यक्तिलाई त लाग्छ होइन, सफर गर्ने चाहिँ त्यो परिवारै हुन्छ के हुन्छ नि. त्यो व्यक्तिलाई त अफकोर्स द्याट पर्सन इज गोइङ थ्रु सो मच हुन्छ नि होइन. एन्ड देन द फ्यामिली इट्सेल्फ हुन्छ नि होइन, द अमाउन्ट अफ ट्रमा द्याट द फ्यामिली गोज थ्रु एज वेल. एउटा क्यान्सर त एउटा त्यो मात्र भयो होइन, तर every disease, and then the family suffers.
Yeah, the disease seeps into everybody who's around the person who's suffering too.
I know.
So that's the worst thing about it.
You're a big advocate in health.
I am?
I think so. I've heard that.
What have I done?
Which diseases kills most of the people in the world? Heart disease रहेछ नि त है? Do you know that?
Yeah, I did know that. I've
Hey,
lost
oh.
my granddad to a heart disease.
Ooh, I'm so sorry.
Something that's not curable at
Cancer
at
the
all.
second रहेछ.
Cancer the second, no?
At the end of the day, all diseases are scary because we also lose people to fever. We also lose them to diarrhea. So cure is the most crucial part of all the solutions to be made in the world, I know. Cure छ भने any disease can be overcome. But the cure also comes with your mental strength to fight a disease at the end. Okay? If you think you can, sometimes you might be able to. So at the end, don't lose hope on yourself. Give yourself another chance. Don't beat yourself up.
Yeah.
But you have to have a faith, a sense of faith and hope.
Yeah. You work out every day, I heard?
Who said that?
I heard.
I try.
I know people.
I try.
I know a little bit of people.
Or let's say because I've been busy.
I just don't know the chameleons. I know other people too.
I try. I really try that. Do you want to know how I build up my beauty with a purpose?
Go for it.
Because, you know, we need funders, right? We cannot establish a full-fledged project on our own. It was a difficult journey for me because पहिला त के गर्ने भनेर थाहा पाएको थिएन थाहा पाएपछि कसरी गर्ने भन्ने अगाडि बढ्दाखेरि it's very easy to dream dreams on your own, but it's very hard to make people believe in the dream that you're dreaming. खतरा प्रोजेक्ट हो भनेर भन्नु त गाह्रो छ नि त आफ्नो दिमागमा पो खतरा छ अर्कोको दिमागमा अर्कै प्रोजेक्ट पनि हुनसक्छ होइन to make that sense of relevance in sense of people around, in sense of bringing everybody who's associated with us in our Beauty with a Purpose project was a journey on its own. के एक महिना ठाउँ खोज्नु लाग्यो भने 6 महिना मान्छेहरू जसले प्रोजेक्ट possible गराउँछ यो मान्छेहरू these specific people who've come together, it took me 6 months to find them. Okay? अब के भयो भन्दाखेरि the biggest drawback, yes we had time, yes we had the project in mind, yes we had the people to work upon, but general elections आयो नि त last year in towards the end, I think November मा भयो थियो. So our main funders of the project is the business working demographic of Nepal. होइन त्यो हेर्न जाँदाखेरि सबैसँग कुरा गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ अब फन्ड चाहिँ छैन एउटा मेन एस्पेक्ट चाहिँ के भयो भने सिन्स दिस वाज अ प्रोजेक्ट राइट आफ्टर कोभिड आफ्टर 2021 पिपल वर somehow numbed towards major parts of problems around the world because घर-घरमै problem भइरहेको थियो कि they were numbed towards other problems. So we had to make sure that people thought having not having electricity was also a problem. कसैको लागि there are bigger problems too, I know. So there are so many factors we had to overcome along the way. अनि elections आयो पैसा छैन ढुकुटीमा पैसा छैन है मान्छेको घरमा पैसा छैन. How do we fund the project भन्दाखेरि we had to travel with the project. We had to rely upon our Nepali diaspora outside. We flew down to USA. Dallas गयो first month, then we came down to New York. Then we also went towards Seattle. And last month, Baltimore आएको थियो. They were also kind. I think the project stands in support of all these people and also funders who funded our project in Nepal, especially after all the hardships that we've had. Election bhayo pani, COVID bhayo pani, they believed in bigger project. They believed in a project for the world. They believed in building a community. So they've funded these projects. So I want to take my stand here and want to thank all those people who've come together and made this project possible.
So a lot of friends in America helped.
A lot of friends in America helped.
From Dallas to
New York to Baltimore to Seattle.
Good. And are these friends on today's date? Do they feel like they have the ownership of that project? Do they feel like that?
Of course. So for me, it was very important that they knew their money wasn't going inside my pocket. Their money was going inside the project that I said would come up. They were say to build the credibility for us. We've made this group firstly on Facebook, you know. Facebook ma कहिलेकाहीँ मलाई पनि update गरिरहनु गाह्रो हुन्छ because I'm always on the move. I'm sometimes in Chitwan, I'm sometimes in America, I'm sometimes you're doing something, but I'm busy. So त्यही भएर चाहिँ इमेलहरू छ कि हामीले यस्तो यस्तो भिडियो बनाइराख्दाखेरि कम्युनिटी हल को भिडियोहरू हुन्छ प्रोग्रेस रिपोर्ट भन्छौँ नि त्यो चाहिँ जहिले we make sure they get them through mails. इमेलमा चाहिँ पठाउनु कोसिस गर्छौँ नत्र द लिस्ट आई क्यान डु इज पोस्ट देम अन माई स्टोरिज पोस्ट अबाउट इट अन फेसबुक सो दे नो प्रोग्रेस इज ह्यापनिङ
नाम के छ पेजको
पेज होइन मेरैबाट पोस्ट गर्छु कि मिस नेपाल वर्ल्डबाट
Do you need more help, more support?
I think we're done with the funding support. What we need support for is Miss Worldमा जाँदाखेरि हाम्रो फास्ट ट्र्याक इभेन्ट्स भन्ने हुन्छ सञ्जय दाई 140 I'll tell you about it. We're 144 countries participating and competing against one another. There's just a month-long competition. एक महिनामा सबैलाई चिन्न गाह्रो हुन्छ it takes years and years to know somebody and still you don't know them नि त so अब since it's a competition we have few aspects how people can analyze you from what aspect and why you know त्यही भएर it's broken down into 5 segments त्यसमा सबभन्दा धेरै मार्किङ्स भएको चाहिँ ब्युटी विथ अ पर्पस छ ब्युटी विथ अ पर्पस जित्यो भने टप यतिमा पुऱ्याउँछ अर्को 4टामा जित्यो भने टप यतिमा पुऱ्याउँछ त्यसरी चाहिँ these 5 fast track events are important where which beauty with purpose carries most marks त्यसपछि चाहिँ हाम्रो मल्टिमिडिया भन्ने छ कि मल्टिमिडियामा चाहिँ नेपाल हेज अलवेज डन वेल मल्टिमिडियाको लागि के गर्नुपर्छ भने यु जस्ट ह्याभ टु डाउनलोड एन एप मपस्टार भन्ने एप छ यु डाउनलोड दिस एप you click on my profile, Priyanka Rani Joshi. It comes with a verified red marking. A red tick comes beside my name. This man, the only thing you have to do is like my photos. Okay? अहिलेसम्म भएको सबै फोटोहरू लाइक गरिदिनु त्यसपछि मैले दिनदिनै राख्ने फोटोहरू लाइक गरिदिनु भयो भने चाहिँ द्याट विल पुश अस टु टप 20 टप 10 स्ट्रेट अवे फास्ट ट्र्याक इभेन्टमा मपस्टार in multimedia is also one of the biggest aspect that Nepal has always been winning, which we hope to win again this year too.
Fantastic. X, go ahead and show it to everybody.
Multimedia.
कसरी गर्ने भनेर हैन अनि त्यसपछि त्यो हुने बित्तिकै चाहिँ धेरै भन्दा धेरै भोट चाहियो यही हैन
Oh yes. Oh my god.
Download the Mobstar app from your app store or Play Store, sign in or create an account, and this is search for your name and then follow and like all our pictures.
All our pictures. So यसमा चाहिँ के हुन्छ रेटिङ्सहरू हुन्छ कि एउटा फोटो लाइक गर्दाखेरि पनि मेरो रेटिङ माथि गइरहेको हुन्छ
हामी त गजब छौँ त यस्तो गर्नलाई त
त्यही त that's what I'm saying
हैन we've been voting for a long time
त्यही त it's a huge point of support so I'm only seeking for help through support from everybody watching
क्या खतरा कुरा हो नि यो थाहा छ हामी हैन दुईजना के रे यत्रो पपुलेसन भएको देशहरूको बिचमा बस्दाखेरि पनि हैन we're really good at this stuff नि you know what I mean
yeah geographically हाम्रो यति त छ नि त which is smaller in comparison to other countries I know but the power we carry as people
is huge तिमीले फेरि एकपल्ट देखाइदेऊ न सबैजना कति छ अरे सबै छ है माथिसम्म छ है त्यो बिर्सिनु हुन्न त्यो
हाम्रो लिफुलेक बिर्सिनु भएको छैन हैन यस
हैन सबै गुन्जी पनि हैन सबै त्यो बिर्सिनु हुन्न त्यो छुटाउनु हुन्न हैन
we should not
हैन so at the end of the day how long is the thing in Delhi?
The competition.
How long do you have to stay for?
1 month. I leave on November 15th.
Whole 1 month.
Then the finale is in December 16th. And you're invited to watch us.
Of course, we'll try our best.
I will want to be on the stage. When I look down, your face needs to be there too.
No, we'll try our best to go ahead and be there.
हाम्रो चन्द्र र सूर्य लिएर आउनुहोस्
14 तारिखमा म उति चन्द्र लिएर आउँछु चन्द्र लिएर आउँछु आयो भने 14 तारिख जानला and then you're going to stay and the finale is on December 16th. Yes. Has the place been finalized?
No, venue is yet to be finalized, but dates are out. And we're, I think, almost ready to leave. Actually, we are ready to leave. Nepal for the world.
गरौँ न manifest. Miss World host गर्नुपर्ने छ. Miss World host गर्नुपर्ने छ त्यो
मलाई चाहिँ फर्स्ट मिस वर्ल्ड हुनुपर्ने छ
हैन म मिस वर्ल्ड होस्ट गर्नुपर्ने छ त्यो
Okay, what do you think? You've sat with me for an hour plus today, हैन how do you think we're faring?
जित्छ एकदम त्यो थट चाहिँ तिमीले त्यो हटाउनै हुँदैन जित्छ भनेर जानुपर्छ त्यसमा त कुनै उनै छैन हैन त्यो this is something that I advocate you have to go with a winner's mindset.
No.
If you do not go with a winner's mindset then
that's half lost already. That's a battle lost already.
I will participate. I will go ahead and be a part of it. I will go through the experience. I will learn so much. Good, great. Keep that mindset. You go with, I will win it.
I know, and after such amazing representation in last years, if I just go with a mindset for participating, then I'm not doing justice to the ground that I'm standing on.
If that's why I'm saying that, right? That's exactly what I was trying to explain. You have to go with the winner's mindset. Even
Yes.
I talk about this all the time. Every single person, even the country, needs to go. This is the time for us to even go with a winner's mindset.
Yes.
If we constantly think that, oh, we're small, हाम्रो representation कम छ, यो छ, त्यो छ, this is the moment when we have to go with the winner's mindset. You will go with the winner's mindset.
I have to.
That I've already realized with X amount of time that we've spent together. If you do that, once you get to the final stage, and then you go ahead and get tier, no tier, I don't know. As soon as you win it, make sure that you're like, yes,
Let's go Nepal.
Right?
Yeah.
That's the mindset that you got to go with. And I'm sure that that's the mindset that you have.
For now, yes.
No, it's going to stay with you. I hope so.
Some things about mindset is it changes with time. It changes with the state of current affairs you're surrounded around. So I only hope I'm in a comfortable position to think the thoughts that you're thinking right now, because भोलि केही परिआयो भने मलाई गाह्रो नहोस्, अप्ठ्यारो नहोस् हैन. So I can only pray nothing bad happens so that I can keep this mindset of a trooper and do the things that Nepal has been waiting to do.
My friend, you have 3 crore people supporting you at the back.
Oh my God,
right?
yes.
So take a little bit of fire from my side too with your water, and then you're definitely going to win it. Best of luck to you.
Thank you
All
so
right?
much.
Next time you come, we want to release this today. Next time you come, I want to talk about...
Oh, this is today?
Yeah, this is today. I want to talk about a little bit about your dancing passion as well, and so many thousands of different things that we missed out today. All right?
Okay.
Best of luck to you. And
Thank
I'll
you
see
for
soon.
having me.
Of course. Awesome.
This program is brought to you by Vyas Studios.